Before My Brother Gets Back by Tyla Walker.
There's nothing like your brother's sexy best friend to get you all hot and bothered.
Oh, really? You don't even have a brother.
But if I did, I bet his friends would be hot AF.
The uncut, ad-free version of this audiobook is available on TylaWalker.com.
Don't worry, if you like to read spice-free and don't mind the interruption of ads, this version is perfect for you.
But if you're more interested in making your heart race, well, you know where to go. Use code YouTube30 for a 30% discount.
Don't forget to like and subscribe for more of Miss Tyla's stories.
This is Tyla Walker's Before My Brother Gets Back.
Chapter 1. Maya. I stand at my brother's doorstep, 2 suitcases weighing down my hands. 27 years old, seeking a place to stay with my older brother is not my best look, I must admit. But if anyone can accept the circumstances of how I got to be here and support me all in the same, it's him. Well, I take that back. I'm not sure my brother will be very accepting of the fact that I'm sporting a huge bruise on my cheek and fingerprint bruises on my arms that my favorite cardigan is currently covering. My shoulders ache, but I straighten up and press the doorbell. The familiar chime echoes inside. Here we go, I murmur to myself. The door swings open and there he is, Alex, with his easygoing grin and tousled hair. His smile fades when he sees me in the luggage. Hey, Maya, what's going on? His eyes scan my face for answers. I watch his pupils constrict, and that's when I know he's noticed the bruising on my face. I push past him into the warmth of his apartment. Can I come in first? He steps aside. Of course, but you should probably start talking about why is there a bruise on your face before I get in the car. He gingerly bats away a stray hair that has fallen across my cheek, and I grimace. He jerks his hand back, realizing his mistake. I'm sorry, but seriously, what is going on? I drop the suitcases by the door and sink onto his plush couch. I look down at my hands, fingers intertwining in a tight knot. It's James. Alex's jaw tightens at the mention of my now ex-boyfriend's name. What did that bastard do now? I swear to God, I'm going to kill that. He starts to head towards the door, and I reach out and grab his arm. No, stop. Just let me explain, please. My eyes secretly pleading for him to calm the hell down, and I go to James's apartment and end up catching a charge. He gives me this, why must you try to cage the beast look? And I have to subdue a grin, but finally he relents and sits down on the couch beside me. I take a deep breath, trying to find the words. We had a fight, a big one. He accused me of not being supportive enough of his career, of not being there for him. Alex scoffs. And that's reason enough to you? That's never okay. He didn't hit me. Well, he threw his whiskey glass in my direction, and I just happened to be in his line of fire, I guess. I rub my temples, feeling a headache forming. Alex's voice softens as he sits beside me. That doesn't make a damn difference. The point is, he hurt you. Yeah, but I'm okay, I say quickly, shaking my head. I start to get emotional and find myself having a hard time getting the words out. I like to consider myself a smart woman, and I know what may start as a whiskey glass can quickly turn into a closed fist. And that's not the life I want for myself. Or I'd want for my own daughter if I ever had one. I wipe at the tear that runs down my cheek. I always had a bad feeling about that asshole, he says, reaching for a blanket and tossing it to me. It's sweet that he noticed my tremors and thinks I'm cold, but in all actuality, I'm still terrified from the events that occurred prior to my arriving here. Some I choose not to share because I would rather Alex not have an arrest on his flawless record. I sit on the edge of the couch, hugging the blanket he offered me. How come you never said anything? He stops and looks at me, his eyes serious. I didn't want to interfere. You seemed happy, so I kept my mouth shut. A bitter laugh escapes me. Happy? I guess I was good at pretending. Alex steals the blanket from my arms and drapes it across my lap. Why didn't you tell me he was treating you like this? I shrug, feeling a lump in my throat. I thought I could handle it, and I didn't want to admit it to myself, let alone to you. He shakes his head, frustration etched on his face. Maya, you don't have to handle everything alone. That's what family's for. Yeah, but you have your own life, your own problems. I pick at a loose thread on the couch. My problems are nothing compared to yours, he says firmly. You come first. I look up at him, seeing the fierce protectiveness in his eyes. It's comforting, but also makes me feel guilty for not confiding in him sooner. I'm sorry, I whisper. Don't be. He leans back in his chair, rubbing his own temples. I'm just pissed I didn't see it sooner. I would have kicked his ass ages ago, and I make no promises that I still won't now. Despite myself, I chuckle. You always were the overprotective big brother. Someone's got to do it, he says with a small smile. Silence falls between us again, but it's not uncomfortable this time. It's like we're both processing everything that just came out. Finally, Alex stands up and stretches. You hungry? I've got some leftover pizza in the fridge. My stomach growls at the mention of food. Yeah, that sounds good. As he heads to the kitchen, I follow him, feeling a strange sense of relief wash over me. Being here with Alex makes everything seem a little more manageable. We settle at the small dining table with plates of cold pizza and glasses of soda. It feels almost normal, like old times before everything got so complicated. And for now, that's enough. I wake up in the guest room to the smell of bacon wafting through the apartment. I roll out of bed and make my way to the kitchen, where Alex is humming to himself, flipping an omelet. Morning, he says without looking up. Morning, I reply, sliding into a chair at the table. You didn't have to do all this. Just wanted to start your day off right, he says, finally turning to me with a grin. How very big brotherly of you, I say with a smile. He clears his throat, my clue to pay attention. So it goes without saying that you are welcome to stay here and get your stuff sorted out, he says as he stares me down and points his spatula in my direction for added effect. No, Alex, I just need a day to look into different... Don't know me, Maya. He starts. Your place is here until you feel comfortable enough to find something elsewhere. Who's to say that asshole isn't just lurking around waiting to find out where you go? At least I doubt he will willingly show up on my doorstep. If he does, it'll be his first and last time. Easy, Tiger, I say with a smile. I just don't want to be a burden. Listen to me, he says as he sits our heaping plates of breakfast on the table. You have never been, nor will you ever be, a burden. I am your brother. It's in my job description to take care of you. Well, you deserve a raise, I say as I take a bite of bacon. Alex laughs. We eat in comfortable silence, the kind that only comes with family. After we finish breakfast, Alex leans back in his chair, crossing his arms. So, I've been thinking. Uh-oh, I tease. That's never good. He chuckles. I know things have been rough lately, so I was thinking we should have a little get-together here tonight. Just some friends, nothing crazy. I raise an eyebrow. A party? You know I'm not really in the mood for socializing. Exactly why you need it, he counters. You've been dealing with so much crap, you deserve a break. Plus, my friends are awesome. You'll like them. I hesitate, playing with the edge of my napkin. The idea of meeting new people right now feels daunting, but Alex looks so hopeful. Okay, I say finally, but just a small one. He beams at me like he's won a prize. Trust me, it'll be fun. And I do trust him, because there hasn't been a day in my 27 years of life that trusting him has failed me yet. Well, except when he stole my ice cream out of the fridge after promising he wouldn't, but I like to think that had something to do with being 11. Chapter 2. Maya. The living room pulses with the beat of the music, a low hum of conversation, mixing with laughter and the clinking of glasses. Alex's apartment feels alive, a feeling I realize I've been missing the last year. People fill every corner, talking animatedly or swaying to the music. I spot Alex across the room, engaged in a deep conversation with a group of his friends. He's animated, gesturing with his hands as he talks, and I can see that familiar spark in his eyes. Seeing him like this makes me smile. He's always been the life of the party. "Hey, Maya," someone calls out, pulling me back into the moment. I turn to see Jenna, one of Alex's friends, waving at me from the kitchen area. "Come join us. We're debating who makes the best margaritas." I laugh and make my way over. Well, I can't miss out on that. Despite being the newcomer, Alex's friends have gone out of their way to include me and ensure that I have some fun. Truthfully, I'm glad that Alex convinced me to agree to this Make Maya Happy scheme. I didn't get many opportunities to indulge in parties in college. Most of my time was spent with my nose in a book, studying for some big exam. Jenna grins and hands me a drink. "So what do you think? Classic lime or something more adventurous?" "Definitely classic," I say, taking a sip. The tangy taste is refreshing, and for a moment I forget about everything that's happened. "You have good taste," Jenna says with a wink. "So how are you liking the party?" "It's great," I admit. "Thanks for coming. I know Alex dropped this on you on short notice." "Wouldn't miss it," she replies. "Alex said you needed some cheering up." I nod, feeling a warmth spread through me, not just from the margarita, but from being surrounded by people who care. A loud cheer erupts from the living room as someone wins a game of charades. I glance over to see Alex high-fiving another guest. "He really knows how to throw a party," I say. Jenna laughs. "Yeah, he's got that gift. But hey, don't let him take all the credit. You're here too, and people are really happy to meet you." She shrugs, mixing up another drink. "He tells everyone about you, you know. His baby sister in the city, chasing down success." Her words give me a small boost of confidence. Maybe this is what I need. A reminder that there's more to life than just surviving. Alex catches my eye from across the room and gives me a thumbs up. I return it with a smile. As the night goes on, I find myself laughing more than I have in months. Conversations flow easily. People drift in and out of different groups, always bringing fresh energy with them. It's strange how quickly things can change, how a little bit of laughter and good company can make everything seem okay again, even if just for an evening. I'm deep in conversation with Jenna when I hear a familiar voice behind me. Well, I'll be damned. Is that Mara Johnson? I turn, and there he is, Tyler Bennett. Last time I saw him, we were just kids. Now he's standing in front of me, looking like he stepped out of a GQ magazine. His short, neatly styled brown hair frames his face perfectly, and his clear blue eyes lock onto mine with a warmth that makes my heart race. "Tyler," I manage to say, a smile spreading across my face. "Long time no see." He steps forward and pulls me into a side hug. Long time indeed. His embrace is firm, yet gentle, and I'm struck by how different he feels. Stronger, more confident. When he releases me, I notice Alex making his way over to us. "Hey man," Alex greets Tyler with a hug of his own. "Glad you could make it?" "Of course. Can't miss my opportunity to see one of your legendary parties," Tyler says, clapping Alex on the back. "How's it going?" Busy as always, Alex replies with a grin. Tyler turns his attention back to me, his eyes scanning my face as if trying to catch up on all the years we missed. You look good, he says sincerely. Thanks, I reply, feeling a little self-conscious under his gaze. So do you. Tyler chuckles. Yeah, puberty will do that to you. I laugh with him, the sound of our shared amusement breaking the tension I didn't realize had built up. I heard about everything that happened, Tyler says, his voice softer now. I nod, appreciating his concern but not wanting to dwell on it tonight. Thanks, but let's not talk about that. That's a big party foul, Bennett. Just enjoy the party. You got it, Tyler agrees. Our conversation falls into an uncomfortable silence, but luckily some blonde with huge boobs walks up, and his attention quickly is diverted. Downwards. I'll see you around Mar, he says with a brush off, as he follows behind the blonde like a Labrador retriever. Some things never change, I mutter to myself with a laugh as I find my way back to the kitchen, eager for another drink. The night hums with energy, the kind that makes everything seem possible. I'm laughing with Tyler when someone suggests we play spin the bottle. What are we, like 12? Mark asks, and the crowd snickers. Shut up, asshole. I couldn't find the Uno cards. Plus, you shouldn't be complaining. Maybe you'll get some action for the first time in 12 years. Alex says, and the crowd erupts with laughter again as Mark spears him in the side, and they begin wrestling in the floor. It feels like a throwback to an underage high school party in a basement, but everyone's game. So I find myself sitting in a circle on Alex's living room floor with the rest of the crew. Tyler takes a seat across from me, his blue eyes catching mine briefly before he looks away. The bottle spins, people cheer and tease each other, and I try to relax into the lighthearted vibe. All right, Maya, your turn, Jenna announces with a grin. I reach out and give the bottle a good spin. It twirls in slow circles before finally coming to a stop, pointing directly at Tyler. The room falls silent for a heartbeat before erupting into cheers and wolf whistles. Looks like you two are up, Mark says with a smirk. Tyler's gaze meets mine, and for a moment, the noise around us fades away. He leans in first, closing the distance between us. His movements are confident but gentle. My heart pounds in my chest as our lips meet. The kiss starts soft, exploratory. But there's an undeniable spark, a current of electricity that surges between us. His lips are warm and firm against mine, and I can't help but lean in just a bit more. Time seems to stretch. I'm acutely aware of every sensation. The feel of his hand resting lightly on my arm, the way his breath mingles with mine. My mind races with conflicting thoughts. This is Tyler, my brother's best friend, someone I've known forever. And yet, this kiss feels like something new, something charged with an intensity that catches me off guard. When we finally pull apart, the room erupts in applause and teasing comments. I force myself to smile and laugh along with everyone else, but inside, I'm reeling. Tyler's eyes linger on mine for just a second longer before he looks away. Well, Jenna teases, that one set the bar. I chuckle nervously and try to shake off the feelings swirling inside me, hoping they're not written all over my face for everyone to see. Well, how else would you expect the new girl to gain credibility? I say, hoping to rid the room of my awkwardness and change the topic. But even as I joke along with everyone else, I can't ignore the way my heart still races or how my skin tingles where his hand had touched me. Alex is looking at me suspiciously as he takes his turn with the bottle. All right, folks, let's see who's next. The game winds down shortly after, and the guests start to trickle out, leaving a trail of laughter and goodbyes in their wake. I help Alex gather up the empty bottles and cups, the remnants of a night that feels like a turning point. Thanks for this, I say, setting a stack of plates on the kitchen counter. I needed it. Alex grins at me, but his eyes are tired. Anything for you, sis? As we finished tidying up, I noticed Tyler sprawled out on the couch, sound asleep. His suit jacket is draped over the armrest, and his tie hangs loosely around his neck. Even in sleep, he looks effortlessly put together. Alex nudges me with his elbow. Hey, can you wake him up? He'll be more comfortable in the guest room. I glance at Tyler's peaceful face and shake my head. He looks comfortable to me if you want to. You do it. Alex raises an eyebrow. Seriously? Have you ever slept drunk on a couch? I roll my eyes but smile. Can't say I have, but you invited him. You're on babysitting duty. He sighs dramatically but doesn't argue. This is the thanks I get after this grand event I threw for you? Fine. But you owe me one? He winks. Add it to my tab, I say with a smirk.
Chapter 3. Tyler. I wake up on the couch, my neck protesting the angle it's been forced into. The house is fairly quiet, save for the faint hum of a kitchen appliance somewhere in the background. For a moment, I'm disoriented. The last thing I remember is Alex's party. Why did I stay the night? Holy cow! Scratching my head, I sit up slowly, my mind replaying bits and pieces of last night. The laughter, the music, the games, and then it hits me. The kiss with Maya. That unexpected, electric kiss. I can still feel the softness of her lips against mine. The way her eyes widened slightly before she leaned in. It was supposed to be just a game, but it felt like so much more. She's Alex's sister. I shouldn't be thinking about her like this. My heart races as I recall the way her body tensed, then relaxed against mine. It wasn't just me who felt it, was it? There was something there. Something undeniable. I stand up and stretch, trying to shake off the memory, but failing miserably. My feet carry me to the kitchen out of habit more than anything else. Coffee sounds like a good idea. I stumble to the fridge, rubbing the last remnants of sleep from my eyes. The smell of something delicious cooking fills the air, making my stomach rumble in response. I turn towards the smell and see Maya standing by the stove, her back to me, moving with a grace that's hard to ignore. She's wearing an oversized t-shirt that looks like it might belong to Alex, but it somehow makes her look even more attractive. Her long curls cascade down her back, catching the morning light in a way that's almost hypnotic. "Morning," I mumble, still half asleep. She turns around, startled, and covers her eyes with her hands, which she's holding a spatula, I might add. Morning. Sleep well?" "Well enough." I lean against the counter, trying to appear casual. "What's wrong? Never seen a shirtless man before?" She peeks through her fingers and looks at me. Not one that I've seen years ago that had a little bird chest, not six-pack abs and chest hair. Forgive me for being a little caught off guard. I can't help but laugh. The 8-year-old me is appalled at your comment about my bird chest, but luckily for you, the 32-year-old me will let it slide. She removes her hands from her face, and I'm met with a sly smile. Fantastic news. I wouldn't be able to live with myself if Tyler Bennett was holding a grudge against me. Still a little spitfire, I see. I lean forward, my arms holding me up against the counter, showcasing my toned biceps. I feel like a turkey parading around his feathers trying to impress a female, but I'm delighted to see the flush it brings to her face as she looks my way. "What's cooking?" I ask, in an effort to mask her embarrassment. "Pancakes," she replies with a small smile. "Smells amazing." I can't help but watch her as she flips a pancake with expert precision. "Need any help?" She shakes her head. "Nope, got it covered. You can just sit and wait like a proper guest." "Guest? I'm practically family." The words slip out before I can stop them, and for a second we both freeze. "Yeah," she says, looking down at the griddle. "I guess you are." There's an awkward silence for a moment, filled only by the sizzle of pancakes cooking. I take the opportunity to really look at her, She seems different from last night. More vulnerable, maybe even tired. You good? I ask, breaking the silence. Yeah, she replies quickly, too quickly. Yeah, just processing everything. And concentrating, she replies, her voice a little too tight. I can't help but think that what she's processing is probably the same thing I am, so I choose not to bring that up. Instead, I offer some comedic relief. I bet you're concentrating on not getting a lady boner from the stud muffin behind you. The spatula falls to floor with a clang, and I can't help but snicker thinking I caught her off guard. She turns around, eyes full of fire. Don't flatter yourself. You're yesterday's stale donut at best. Now get me another spatula. Sheesh, way to wound a guy's ego, I say, feigning hurt. She rolls her eyes. I hope you're more believable in the courtroom. Well, I say, letting her get the last jab in. At least your pancakes aren't suffering from all the processing. She chuckles softly. You're real confident for someone that hasn't tasted them yet. Is it really that hard to mess up pancakes, though? I ask, trying to seem genuinely concerned and also not laugh. She snorts and shakes her head back and forth. I'm not sure if it's to say it's not hard to mess up pancakes, or she's embarrassed and denying the fact she just snorted, and it was the cutest thing ever. So, I say as she sets the plates out on the table, how did you get so good at this? Is there some secret Johnson family recipe? She rolls her eyes, but there's humor in them now. It's called the back of the box, Tyler. My futile attempts at compliments and flirting are crashing and burning. But what the hell would you expect when all I'm talking about is damn pancakes? I mentally smack myself in the head. Come on, Bennett. Your game is so much better than this. Well, you follow instructions really well, I say, picking up a fork and taking a bite. Mr. Smooth Operator in the house. About as smooth as a damn porcupine at this point. She finally sits down across from me, looking relieved to be done with cooking for now. Glad you like them. I take another bite and nod enthusiastically. They're all right, I guess. For a moment she looks almost bashful, a side of Maya I haven't seen before. It's endearing in ways I didn't expect. As we eat in silence for a few moments more, the tension eases just enough for me to feel hopeful about whatever might come next between us. Just as I'm about to ask Maya what she likes to do in her downtime when Alex strides into the kitchen, his hair a mess and eyes bleary from sleep. Morning, he grunts, grabbing a mug from the cupboard and pouring himself some coffee. Morning, handsome, I reply, trying to mask my disappointment at the interruption. Sleep well? Probably better than you, he says, taking a long sip of his coffee. I tried to get Maya to wake you up to go to the other room, but she refused. I eye Maya, who smiles and put her head down, drowning her pancake in syrup. I shrug. Some host you are, Maya, I say with a fixed frown. Good thing I don't live here, right? She points her fork at me and retorts back. You'll be here as long as you see fit, Alex says mid-yawn. It's okay, I forgive you, Maya. Your delicious pancakes make up for it, I say with a wink. She smiles, but quickly looks down at her plate, suddenly interested in her food again. There's a tension between us that Alex seems blissfully unaware of. Yeah, Maya's pancakes are legendary, Alex says with a chuckle. He grabs a plate and loads it up with a stack of pancakes. You've outdone yourself again, sis. Thanks, she murmurs, her voice barely above a whisper. Alex takes a seat beside me and digs in with gusto. So, what's on the agenda for today? He asks around a mouthful of pancake. I was thinking of hitting the gym, I say, trying to steer the conversation away from the awkwardness hanging in the air. But that was before I drank too much last night and ate my weight in pancakes this morning. Maya? Alex turns to her. Any plans? She hesitates, glancing at me briefly before answering. I thought I'd take it easy today. Maybe go for a walk or something. That sounds good, Alex says, nodding approvingly. You deserve some downtime after everything you've been through. Uh-huh. So what are you thinking about doing, Al? She asks her brother before he has time to finish his sentence. Something about that exchange was odd. I didn't fail to notice the tremor of her fork in her hand or the way she sat straight up in her seat. I make a mental note to ask Alex about that later. Chapter 4. Tyler. We spend most of the day lounging around the house, the aftermath of last night's party still lingering in our heads and stomachs. The three of us spread out in the living room, groaning and laughing as we reminisce about the ridiculous antics from the night before. "Remember when Jake tried to do that backflip off the couch?" Alex says, shaking his head with a grin. I chuckle, wincing at the memory. "Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's going to feel that for a week." Maya laughs softly, her eyes twinkling with amusement. "He should have known better." "Some people never learn," Alex adds before stretching and standing up. "All right, I'm going outside to grab the grocery pickup. Be right back." As Alex heads out the door, I glance over at Maya. The laughter fades a bit, leaving a more serious atmosphere in its wake. "So," I say, leaning back against the couch cushions, "what brings you back to town?" She hesitates, her fingers playing with a loose thread on her shirt. "I just needed a change, I think," she says finally. "A fresh start." I raise an eyebrow, not entirely convinced, but deciding not to push too hard. "A fresh start, huh? Sounds vague." She shrugs, offering a small smile that doesn't quite reach her eyes. "Yeah, I guess it does." There's a moment of silence between us, filled only by the distant sounds of traffic outside and the occasional chirping of birds. I watch her carefully, trying to read between the lines of what she's not saying. I want to ask more, to dig deeper. But something in her demeanor tells me now isn't the time. Instead, I lean forward and grab a remote from the coffee table. "How about we put on a movie?" I suggest. "Something mindless and funny." She nods, looking relieved by the change in topic. "That sounds perfect." As I flip through streaming options on TV, I can't help but wonder what's really going on with Maya. But for now, I'll respect her need for space and let things unfold naturally. As the opening credits of some ridiculous comedy roll, I stretch out on the couch, letting out a contented sigh. Maya sits on the floor, leaning against the couch with a blanket draped over her shoulders. Alex returns from putting up the groceries and plops down next to her, balancing a bowl of popcorn on his lap. "Remember when we used to do this all the time?" Alex says, tossing a kernel into his mouth. Maya laughs softly. "Yeah, but back then we didn't have fancy TVs and movies on demand." "And you always hogged the remote," I add, nudging her playfully with my foot. She glances back at me, her eyes sparkling with amusement. "That's because you two had terrible taste in movies." Alex throws a handful of popcorn at her. "Lies. We had impeccable taste." We switch gears after the movie ends and dig out an old board game from Alex's closet. It's battered and worn, but it brings back a flood of memories. "I can't believe you still have this," Maya says, shaking her head as she sets up the pieces. "Of course," Alex replies. "It's vintage. I hear that stuff is all the rage now." We dive into the game, and for a while it's like we're kids again, laughing and teasing each other over silly moves and getting way too competitive. But as the hours pass and we play round after round, I can't help but notice how much Maya has changed. She's still got that same spark, that same quick wit, but she isn't Alex's annoying little sister anymore, with lopsided pigtails and thick glasses. There's something else now, a grace and confidence that wasn't there before. And damn if she isn't gorgeous. She catches me staring at one point and raises an eyebrow. "What?" I blink, snapping out of it. "Nothing," I say quickly. "Just good to see you smile." She gives me a curious look but lets it go, turning back to her move in the game. I shake my head slightly, trying to focus on anything but how stunning she looks right now. This is Alex's sister, for crying out loud. But damn if my brain, or my penis, care about logic right now. As the night wears on, I notice Maya glancing at me more frequently. It's subtle, just quick flickers of her eyes in my direction. At first, I think I'm imagining it, but then she does it again and again. Each time, my pulse quickens just a bit more. Is she looking at me like her brother's best friend? Or is there something else there? Something that involves her screaming my name? All right. Last game, Alex announces, breaking into my thoughts. Winner takes all. We dive into the final round with renewed energy, but my focus is split between the game and Maya's lingering glances. Each one sends another ripple of confusion and excitement through me. She catches me looking back at her and raises an eyebrow in challenge. What? You think you can beat me this time? I grin, trying to match her playful tone despite the knot forming in my stomach. Oh, I know I can. She laughs, the sound light and genuine. But there's something else behind it, a tension that mirrors my own. As we play on, I can't shake the feeling that this is more than just friendly competition. There's an unspoken connection building between us, with each shared glance and every playful remark. The final round comes to a close with Maya emerging victorious once again. She throws her arms up in triumph, laughing as Alex groans in defeat. You've got to teach me your ways, I say, shaking my head in mock disbelief. She smirks, her eyes twinkling with mischief. Maybe someday if you're lucky. As the night winds down, Alex heads to his room, leaving Maya and me alone in the living room. I watch her as she tidies up the remnants of our night in, her movements graceful even in the simple act of putting away game pieces. The urge to ask her has been building all evening, and I decide to go for it. Maya, I say, my tone casual. Can I ask you a favor? She looks up, curiosity in her eyes. Sure, what's up? I rub the back of my neck, feeling a bit more nervous than I expected. My family's having a gathering next weekend. It's kind of a big deal for them, and they've been giving me a hard time about not bringing a date for the past few years. Her eyebrows shoot up, and she tilts her head slightly. And you want me to go with you? Yeah, I reply, trying to keep my voice steady. I mean, it's no big deal if you can't. I can call Jessie from the other night. I just didn't want just anyone knowing where I live. Women I associate with seem to want to stick around. I give a brush off like that happens all the time. It doesn't. But for fear of looking like a chump if she turns me down, we will go with it. She hesitates, chewing on her bottom lip. What about Alex? Do you think he'd be okay with it? I take a deep breath, considering her question carefully. Honestly, I'm not sure how he'd react. She nods, holding her gaze. Yeah. Look, I know it might seem sudden or complicated given my friendship with your brother, but I don't see the problem with it if it's merely two old friends hanging out together, I say. Maya looks away for a moment, processing what I've said. When she looks back at me, there's a mix of uncertainty and resolve in her eyes. Okay, she says finally. I'll go with you. A smile spreads across my face, relief flooding through me. Cool. But we need to tell Alex, she adds quickly. I don't want him finding out last minute and getting upset. Agreed, I say. I'll talk to him tomorrow. Good night, Tyler, she says with a small wave. Night, Maya. Sweet dreams. Of me. I reply with a wink. She huffs and rolls her eyes and heads off to her room for the night, and I quietly let myself out and lock the door, just as I always do. I stand by the stairs for a moment, processing the events of the last 2 days. I hope I'm not misreading the fact that when I mentioned going as two old friends, her eyes grew a little dimmer, like she was disappointed. Maybe I'm not the only one whose thoughts are seeming to float into uncharted territory, but it's something I'm definitely ready to explore.
Chapter 5. Maya. I stand in front of the mirror, adjusting the straps of my sundress for what feels like the 100th time. The floral print pops against my deep brown skin, and I can't help but admire how the dress hugs my curves in all the right places. My curls fall around my shoulders, framing my face, and I've taken extra care with my makeup, opting for a natural look with just a hint of gloss on my lips. Why am I so nervous? It's just Tyler, I remind myself. But it's not just Tyler. The memory of that kiss lingers in my mind, making my heart race a little faster. The day after Tyler invited me to attend his family dinner, he called Alex and told him he asked me to come with him. Tyler said Alex was fine with it, as long as no funny business occurred. And he didn't want me home alone because he had late-night plans with Amanda. Considering they're pretty much attached at the hip now, I'm happy for my brother, but I won't lie and say that I'm a little jealous wishing I had something like that. A knock on the door snaps me out of my thoughts. I take a deep breath and head to the door, opening it to find Tyler standing there. He's wearing a crisp white shirt with the sleeves rolled up, paired with dark jeans. He looks effortlessly handsome, and his blue eyes light up when he sees me. "You look great," he says, his voice warm and genuine. "Thanks," I reply, feeling a flutter in my stomach. "You don't look too bad yourself." He grins and offers me his arm. "Shall we?" We head out to his car, and he opens the door for me like a true gentleman. The ride over to his parents' house is filled with laughter and singing along to old songs on the radio. Tyler's voice blends with mine as we belt out the lyrics to some of our favorite 80s hair bands. I can't remember the last time I had this much fun. We pull up to a beautiful home with manicured lawns and twinkling lights adorning the porch. The sight takes my breath away for a moment. Tyler parks the car and quickly comes around to open my door. His hand is warm as he helps me out, and for a second, I feel like we're in some kind of romantic movie. "So," he starts, breaking the comfortable silence. "Are you ready for the Bennett family chaos?" I laugh softly. "As ready as I'll ever be. Any tips for surviving?" "Just be yourself," he says with a shrug. "They'll love you." We walk up to the front door together, and before Tyler can even ring the bell, it swings open. A woman with kind eyes and a welcoming smile stands there, Tyler's mom. "Oh my goodness, you must be Maya. We've heard so much about you from Tyler and Alex," she exclaims, pulling me into a warm hug before I can even respond. "That's me," I manage to say as she squeezes me tightly. She releases me and beckons us inside. "I'm Shayna. Come in, come in. Everyone's been dying to meet you." Tyler places his hand gently on my back as we step into the bustling home filled with laughter and chatter. The warmth of his touch sends a comforting wave through me. "Maya, this is my husband John," Shayna introduces as a tall man with a friendly demeanor as he steps forward to shake my hand. "Nice to meet you, Maya," John says warmly. "Likewise," I respond with a smile. "And over here are Tyler's siblings, Sarah and Josh," she continues. A pair of enthusiastic faces greet me next. Tyler stays close behind me, his hand still on my back, grounding me amidst all the new faces and names. The atmosphere is vibrant and welcoming, making it easier for me to relax. Everyone is so friendly and genuine. It feels like I've stepped into a big family reunion. And with Tyler by my side, that sense of belonging only grows stronger. Shayna's cooking smells divine, and my stomach growls in anticipation as we sit around the large dining table. The spread before us looks like something out of a gourmet magazine. Roast chicken with perfectly crispy skin, buttery mashed potatoes, vibrant green beans, and a salad that could be a work of art. "Dig in, everyone," Shayna announces with a beaming smile. I take a bite of the chicken, and my taste buds explode with flavor. "Shayna, this is incredible," I say, savoring every morsel. She beams. "I'm glad you like it. It's an old family recipe." Tyler catches my eye from across the table and winks. My head as I scoop up some mashed potatoes. They're creamy and smooth, melting in my mouth. We all start chatting about various topics: work, hobbies, funny childhood stories. Tyler's family is easy to talk to, making me feel like I've known them for years instead of minutes. We continue talking about lighter topics, favorite movies, upcoming plans, until everyone has had their fill and the plates are empty. Shayna starts clearing the table, while John heads into the kitchen to put on some coffee. Tyler catches my eye again and gives me another one of those charming smiles that make my heart skip a beat. Tyler and I are sitting on the couch, post-food coma, when his sister Sarah sidles up next to me with a mischievous grin. "So Maya, how long have you two been together?" I open my mouth to answer, but Tyler jumps in, his voice smooth and confident. "Sarah, give her a break. We're just friends." Sarah rolls her eyes dramatically. "Sure, just friends who look at each other like that." I feel my cheeks heat up and look away, but Tyler's hand finds my knee, giving it a reassuring squeeze. "Seriously, Sarah," he says firmly. "Leave it." She pouts but doesn't push further. A little later, Tyler's mom pulls me aside into the kitchen under the pretense of helping her with the dishes. She hands me a plate to dry off and gives me a knowing smile. "You know," she begins softly, "Tyler's never brought anyone home before." I fumble with the plate for a moment before meeting her gaze. "Really?" She nods, her eyes twinkling. "He must think you're pretty special." Before I can respond, Tyler walks in and catches the tail end of our conversation. "Mom," he groans playfully, taking the plate from my hands. "Stop interrogating Maya." She laughs and pats his cheek affectionately, just making conversation. Tyler shakes his head with an exasperated smile and leads me back to the living room where everyone is gathered around the fireplace. The evening continues like this. Lighthearted banter, interspersed with more pointed questions from his family that Tyler deftly deflects. His protective nature only makes him more endearing. At one point, I find myself walking outside to stand on the wraparound porch, to just gander at the stars. The stars bring me a sense of calm when I seem to be too much in my head. I'm startled by a creak in the hardwood. I turn around to see Tyler approaching, a charming smile plastered on his face. "Let's take a walk," he says softly. "Sure," I reply with a smile. Tyler takes my hand, guiding me down the porch steps. The cool evening air wraps around us as we stroll through his parents' yard. Fairy lights twinkle above, casting a soft glow over the neatly trimmed hedges and flower beds. It feels like a scene out of a fairy tale. He rubs the back of his neck, breaking the silence. "I'm really sorry about my family. They can be intense at times." I shake my head, smiling up at him. "They were fine, Tyler. Honestly, I had fun." He looks relieved, but still wears a hint of concern on his face. "Still, I appreciate you putting up with all their nonsense questions." We reach a small garden bench nestled under a tree and sit down. The night is quiet except for the distant sounds of laughter from inside the house. Tyler's thumb brushes over the back of my hand, absent-mindedly. "You made tonight a lot easier," he admits softly, his gaze fixed on our intertwined fingers. I tilt my head, studying his profile in the dim light. There's a vulnerability in his eyes that tugs at my heartstrings. "What do you mean?" He lets out a sigh, finally meeting my gaze. "It's just, every time I come to these family gatherings alone, they make jokes. It's all in good fun, but damn, it gets old." I nod, understanding dawning on me. "And tonight, you had me to distract them." "Yeah," he says with a small smile. "A pretty damn good one, I must say." "Well," I respond, "I'm glad I could be of service." The way he looks at me makes my heart race. It's as if he's seeing me for the first time all over again. I can feel the electricity in the air between us crackle. He leans in closer, his breath warm against my cheek. "Maya." "Yeah," my voice is almost a breathless whisper now. There's something I've been wanting to do since that night, he confesses. His lips inches from mine. My heart skips a beat. And that is, instead of answering with words, Tyler closes the gap between us. His lips meet mine in a soft, tentative kiss that sends sparks through my entire body. The world seems to stop as we melt into each other. The kiss is gentle, yet filled with an intensity that leaves me breathless. I lose myself in the moment, savoring the taste of him and the feeling of being so close. My hand moves to rest on his chest, feeling the steady beat of his heart beneath my palm. He deepens the kiss slightly, and I respond without hesitation. When we finally pull back, both of us are breathing a little heavier. Tyler's forehead rests against mine, our noses brushing gently. Damn, he sighs softly. Yeah, that about sums it up, I whisper back, still reeling from the kiss. We sit there for a moment longer, wrapped up in each other and the magic of the night. Chapter 6. Maya. I sit at the small desk in the corner of Alex's living room, the glow of my laptop casting a faint light on my face. The hum of the air conditioner and the distant sound of traffic outside filter through the open window. I scroll through job listings, my eyes scanning each title with a mixture of hope and frustration. Senior graphic designer, 3 years experience, remote work available. I click on the link, reading through the requirements and responsibilities. It's a good fit. My fingers hover over the keyboard, hesitating. The weight of my decision presses down on me like a heavy blanket. Why did I leave such a good job? And why does it feel like I'm starting over from scratch? Oh yeah, how can I forget? I ran for refuge to my big brother's apartment to get away from my not-so-great, abusive ex-boyfriend. The mere thought of Ryan makes me shiver with dread. But then my mind drifts to Tyler. His easy smile and those piercing blue eyes. He's been on my mind more than I care to admit since that night at his family gathering. But is he really why I'm here? Or am I just looking for any excuse to escape my past? I shake my head, trying to focus on the task at hand. My fingers tap out a quick email, attaching my resume and portfolio. A new start. That's what I need. Alex bursts through the front door, a whirlwind of excitement and energy. I barely have time to look up from my laptop before he starts talking a mile a minute. "You won't believe who I met today," he exclaims, dropping his gym bag by the door and kicking off his sneakers. "Her name's Jenny. She's amazing. Like, seriously amazing." I raise an eyebrow, trying to suppress a grin. "Oh yeah? What's so amazing about her?" "She's a teacher," Alex continues, pacing the room like a caged tiger. "Elementary school, loves kids, super passionate about her job, and she's got this incredible energy, totally infectious." I close my laptop, giving him my full attention now. It's rare to see Alex this worked up over someone. "Sounds like you've got it bad," I tease. He stops pacing and looks at me with wide eyes. "Maya, you have no idea. We talked for hours after her class ended, and get this, I invited her over for our family movie night tomorrow." I blink, confused. "Our what?" "Family movie night," he repeats, as if it's the most obvious thing in the world. "Alex," I say slowly, "we don't have anything like that." "Well, we do now," he grins sheepishly. "Come on, Maya, just pretend for my sake. I really want her to feel comfortable and see what we're all about." I roll my eyes, but can't help laughing at his enthusiasm. Fine, but you owe me one." "Deal." He beams and heads toward the kitchen to rummage for a snack. "Oh, and by the way, this is taking place in the next few hours, and Tyler has already agreed to be my wingman," Alex announces, strolling back into the living room, apple core in hand. I pause and nearly drop my cup of coffee. Tonight? And he did. Of course he did. We're like the Three Musketeers. We always have each other's backs, right? He eyes me with a look that says I'll be in deep trouble if I don't agree. Yeah, of course, I say, scratching my head and offering a small smile. I swallow hard, my mind racing back to our kiss at his parents' house. We haven't really spoken since then, and now he's going to be here. Pretending to be part of some impromptu family movie night? The idea knots my stomach. Isn't this going to be fun? Alex claps his hands on both my shoulders. Damn near delightful, I reply dryly. He chuckles, unfazed. Oh, come on, Maya. It's just one night. You'll survive. I'm about to retort when the front door swings open and Tyler walks in, carrying an armful of popcorn bags and junk food. He looks effortlessly sexy, dressed in a fitted t-shirt and jeans that hug him in all the right places. My mouth goes dry. Got the goods, he announces with a grin, dumping the snacks onto the coffee table. He catches my eye, and there's that spark again, the one I've been trying to ignore since our kiss. Tyler, Maya thinks this is crazy, Alex says, desperate for an ally. He raises an eyebrow, clearly amused. What's crazy? This whole family movie night setup, I explain, gesturing wildly. It doesn't actually exist. Tyler shrugs, his grin widening. It's fun, though. Maybe we should make it a weekly thing. See? Alex chimes in, clapping Tyler on the back. That's why he's my wingman, and you are not. I roll my eyes but can't help smiling at their enthusiasm. Whatever, but you two are handling the snacks. Tyler winks at me as he tears open a bag of popcorn. We've got it covered. I watch him move around the room with an ease that's both infuriating and intoxicating. Every time our eyes meet, I feel that same electric jolt from before. Alex starts arranging pillows on the couch, completely oblivious to the silent exchange between Tyler and me. Jenny should be here any minute, he says cheerfully. Great, just what I need. Another person to witness this awkward charade. Tyler plops down on the couch and pats the spot next to him. Come on, Maya. Sit down and relax. I hesitate for a moment before joining him, careful to keep a small distance between us. But even that small space feels charged with the unspoken tension. I watch Tyler, his casual demeanor making it clear he's not fazed by any of this. Meanwhile, my nerves are jangling like a live wire. You sure you're up for this? Tyler asks again when Alex disappears into the other room. His voice is softer now, just for me. Yeah, I nod more convincingly this time. Won't be my first time pretending to be something I'm not. His eyes cast downward, looking at his hands as if my comment somehow pained him, then the concern quickly fades away. Fake it till you make it, Maya. Unless it involves sex, then men don't appreciate if you fake it. The earnestness in his smile melts some of the tension in my shoulders, and I manage a laugh. Maybe this won't be so bad after all. As I watch him settle in and start browsing movie options, I can't shake the memory of our kiss or the way it made me feel, alive and terrified all at once. I take a deep breath and lean back on the couch. If Tyler can act normal, so can I. The doorbell rings, signaling Jenny's arrival. Oh, Alex says, his voice nearly squeaking. She's here. Well, you invited her, you idiot. Tyler shakes his head at his friend. I'm going to get the door. Everyone act cool, he instructs, rushing toward the front door and wiping his hands on his pants. Tyler clicks his tongue in disapproval. What are we going to do with that kid? I smirk. Watch him crash and burn.
Chapter 7. Tyler. Sitting on Alex's couch, I can't help but stare at Maya. Her legs are stretched out in front of her, barely covered by those tiny gym shorts. The sight of her in that holy t-shirt isn't doing my sanity any favors either. I try to focus on the task at hand, finding a movie, but my eyes keep drifting back to her. She's doing the same, sneaking glances at me when she thinks I'm not looking. When our eyes meet, she quickly looks away, her face turning a shade deeper. Damn, she's cute when she's flustered. "Tyler, you want some popcorn?" Alex shouts from the kitchen, breaking the moment. "Sure thing," I reply, trying to sound casual while ogle his sister. Maya shifts beside me, clearly uncomfortable, but in a way that's almost endearing. I lean back into the couch, close enough to catch a whiff of her shampoo, something floral and intoxicating. I want to reach out and brush a strand of hair away from her face, but Alex would probably murder me. "You need a massage? I can feel the tension radiating off you from here," I tell her. "Shut up, Tyler," she murmurs, not meeting my eyes. "I'll have you know my reviews say I'm very skilled with my hands," I say with a wink. Before I know it, I'm hit with a decorative pillow as Alex rounds the corner with a tall blonde in tow. "Maya, Tyler, this is Jenny," Alex says, grinning like an idiot. "Jenny, this is my sister and my best friend." Jenny's eyes flick over us appraisingly. "Nice to meet you both," she says warmly. "You too," I reply, standing up to shake her hand. Maya does the same but keeps her distance. Alex ushers Jenny to sit beside him on the other couch. The room suddenly feels too small for all the tension bouncing around in it. "So," Jenny starts awkwardly, "what's the movie tonight?" "Usually whatever Tyler wants," Alex says nonchalantly, nudging me. "That's what she said," I respond as I shuffle through the movies saved on the DVR and select one at random. "How about this?" Jenny nods and smiles again, while Alex beams proudly beside her. As we settle back and start the movie, I find myself sitting closer to Maya than before. Her presence is magnetic, drawing me in despite everything telling me to keep my distance. As entertaining as Liam Neeson is on screen, there's a show going on right in front of us that is proving to be far more entertaining. Alex is practically performing a circus act to impress Jenny, and it's freaking hilarious. "Did you see how he just tripped over his own feet to get her a drink?" I whisper to Maya, who's sitting beside me. She covers her mouth to stifle a laugh. He's acting like a teenager on his first date. It's kind of adorable. "Adorable isn't the word I'd use," I say, shaking my head. "Desperate, maybe." Maya snorts. "You're terrible," she giggles. "Just calling it like I see it," I reply with a grin. We share a moment of silent laughter, our eyes meeting. But just as I'm about to comment on how Alex might start juggling next, Maya's hand slips and her drink goes flying. The cold splash of liquid hits my chest, soaking my white t-shirt instantly. "Oh my God! Tyler, I'm so sorry!" she exclaims, eyes wide in horror. I look down at the mess and chuckle. "Well, that's one way to cool me down." "I'll get some spray so it doesn't stain," she says quickly, already on her feet. "Excuse us, guys, we will be right back." I follow her into the kitchen where she rummages through the cabinets for a stain remover. The whole situation is absurdly funny, and I can't help but laugh as I pull off my soaked t-shirt. "Give it here," she says breathlessly, obviously eyeing my chest, as she reaches out her hand for my stuff. I start to hand it to her, but pause. "You sure you know what you're doing?" She rolls her eyes but smiles. "Trust me, I've had enough practice with Alex's clumsy spills." "Fair enough," I say, holding out the shirt for her. She takes it gingerly and starts spraying the affected area with focused determination. The closeness between us feels electric, even though we're not touching. "There," she says finally, satisfied with her work. She tosses me the shirt. "That should do it." "Thanks," I murmur, unable to tear my eyes away from her face. Maya looks up and meets my gaze, and for a split second, it feels like time stops. Then Alex's voice booms from the living room, breaking the spell. "Hey, what's taking you guys so long? You're missing the best part." "I'm gonna grab a shirt in Alex's room for you. I'll be right back," she says quietly. "I'll just go without one. I'm sure Jenny won't mind," I say with a grin. She flips me the bird as she goes on pursuit for a shirt. She returns moments later with one of Alex's Nirvana t-shirts, and I throw it on over my head. We exchange a look and head back into the living room together, side by side, ready to continue our roles. She plops down next to me on the couch, leaving a tiny gap between us. The space feels like a chasm, and I have to resist the urge to close it. Alex cuts the lights and the movie begins again. I can feel the warmth radiating from her body next to mine. Her presence is both comforting and distracting. I can't focus on the movie with her this close. Alex is engrossed in trying to impress Jenny with whispered commentary about the movie's plot. She giggles occasionally, clearly entertained by his antics. I lean closer to Maya, whispering in her ear. Looks like they're hitting it off. She glances over at them and nods. Yeah, I think so. We fall silent again. But it's not uncomfortable this time. It's nice. We watch the movie together like this is normal. Like we do this all the time. As the movie nears the end, I notice Alex and Jenny exchanging glances. Suddenly, they stand up and whisper something about needing more snacks. We'll be right back, Alex says, leading Jenny out of the room. I glance at Maya, who's now sitting a bit closer to me on the couch. The room feels different with just the two of us. Quieter, more charged. So, I say, my voice low, did you enjoy the movie? It's not bad, she replies, eyes flicking to mine for a brief second before returning to the screen. Not bad. Liam Neeson is a boss, I say with a look of shock. She giggles and licks her bottom lip. Man crush, eh? She smiles up at me, and I feel the hair on my arms rise. I also feel something else attempting to rise, but that's besides the point. I shift slightly, letting my arm rest more comfortably along the back of the couch. My fingers are now inches from her shoulder. The closeness sends a thrill through me. Maya, I begin, trying to keep my voice steady. About the other night. She looks at me then, her eyes wide and curious. Yeah? I take a deep breath. That kiss, it shook me. Her gaze drops to her hands, which are fiddling with a loose thread on her cushion. Yeah, I've been thinking about it too, she admits softly. Encouraged by her response, I let my fingers brush against her shoulder lightly. She doesn't pull away. Instead, she leans slightly into my touch. You're so damn beautiful, I say quietly. Her eyes meet mine again, and there's something there. Something that wasn't there before. Tyler, she begins, but trails off. Before she can overthink it, I slide closer until our knees touch. My hand moves from her shoulder to gently cup her face. Her skin is warm under my touch, and she closes her eyes briefly as if savoring the contact. I'm going to kiss you now, I whisper, because I can't stop myself. She nods slightly, her eyes opening to meet mine again. The look she gives me is full of uncertainty, but also curiosity and something more profound, something I want to explore. I lean in slowly, giving her plenty of time to pull away if she wants to. But she doesn't move. Instead, she tilts her head slightly, closing the distance between us even further. Our lips meet softly at first, a tentative brush that sends a shiver down my spine. She lets out a moan that goes straight to my penis, and then the kiss deepens, becoming more urgent as all the unspoken words and pent-up tension between us come pouring out. I pull her closer to me, my hand finding the inside of the back of her shirt. I just need to feel her bare skin to ground me. It takes everything I have not to unclasp her bra and get my hands on her plush tits, but the realization that Alex could walk back in this room at any minute puts a damper on my hard-on. We finally pull back. We're both breathing heavily. She looks at me with a mix of surprise and something else, something that makes my heart race even faster. Wow, she murmurs. Yeah, I agree, resting my forehead against hers. Chapter 8. Tyler. Why waste time on YouTube when Maya and Tyler's forbidden connection and Before My Brother Gets Back is heating up? Head over to tylawalker.com and get the unabridged version at 40% off using promo code SAVE40. This offer unlocks all unabridged content on tylawalker.com, allowing you to experience every thrilling twist and turn without interruptions. Dive into this forbidden romance now.
This is it, baby. This is what you can get me that'll make me happy.
You know I'll get you whatever you want. All you need to do is ask me and I'll give it to you.
This ain't just it. This is everything I could ever want.
Now I'm curious. What does a strong, sassy woman like yourself want so badly?
Baby, you know what I want?
Can't wait to hear.
The Big Baddie bundle from Tyla Walker. It has everything I need.
20 ebooks with over 1 million words of sassy romance and spice that'll keep you on your toes.
10 audiobooks containing over 60 hours of that seductive voice telling me naughty things all night long.
You don't need an audiobook for that, baby. Right here.
You may be fine and all, but no one tells it like the way Miss Tyla does. And I need her in my life.
The Big Baddie bundle is everything you need. You can get it for 80% off.
Go to TylaWalker.com to browse the bundles that earn you the best deals.
It's time you treat yourself. Because you deserve it.
Escape your life with Miss Tyla. Chapter 9. Maya. I crack an egg into the sizzling pan, the aroma of breakfast filling the kitchen. I'm lost in deep thought. Tyler's touch still lingers on my skin, and my mind races through every detail of last night. The way he looked at me. His eyes filled with an intensity that left me breathless. My heart hammers in my chest as I replay the scene over and over. His hands, warm and confident, guiding me, his lips exploring every inch of my skin. It was more than just sex. It felt like a connection, something deep and unspoken between us. Damn, I shout as I pull my hand back where the bacon grease splattered and burnt me. Leave it to bacon to bring me back to reality. There's no way we could ever be more than a secret, a fleeting moment stolen in the dark. The thought sends a pang through me, sharp and bitter. Alex would never be okay with the two of us together. I just hope things won't be awkward between Tyler and I from here on out. I need things to go back to normal, or as normal as they can be. I remove the eggs from the pan and toss some sausage links in. Do you always cook breakfast? I squeal and spin around in his direction, dropping my fork. Tyler leans against the counter, watching me with a relaxed smile. He looks different this morning, more casual, but still effortlessly attractive. Do you always have to sneak up and scare people in the kitchen? I ask, as I turn back around to turn the sausage links. He starts to laugh. Not always. I just tend to find myself gravitating to wherever you are lately. My hand stops midair. The comment burning into my skin just like the damn bacon grease did. Plus, I heard you say damn, and figured I'd come save you from the bacon. He supplies. Not knowing how to respond, I offer up. Oh, I see, and continue poking at the sausage. Real smooth Maya, I say to myself. But to answer your question, breakfast is my favorite meal. Plus, I need something to keep my hands busy. Busy hands, huh? Tyler's grin widens. I've got something you can do to keep your hands busy. I know I turn an embarrassing shade of red as I shoot him a look and smack him with the spatula. Behave? He laughs, and the sound is rich and infectious. It's strange because this isn't the least bit awkward at all, and for that I am thankful. The door swings open, and Alex strolls in, his hair a mess and eyes bleary. He looks between us, then zeroes in on Tyler. Did you stay the night? Alex's tone is casual, but there's an edge to it. Tyler straightens up a bit too quickly. Yeah, man, I was just being a good wingman. Wanted to make sure you were getting your alone time with Jenny. Alex raises an eyebrow, clearly skeptical, but too tired to dig deeper right now. Well, thanks for that, I guess. He grabs a mug and pours himself some coffee. I can feel the tension crackling between the three of us, like static electricity. Alex takes a long sip from his mug and glances at me. His eyes soften a bit as he takes in the breakfast spread. "You didn't have to go through all this trouble," he says. "It's no trouble," I reply, placing a plate in front of him. "Figured you could use some nourishment after your long night." Tyler chuckles, leaning closer to me again as he reaches for a piece of toast. "Yeah, looks like he had quite the time." Alex shakes his head but doesn't hide his smile. "You two are impossible." He turns back to his coffee, seemingly satisfied with Tyler's explanation for now. Tyler catches my eye and winks, and I fight to keep my face neutral. This is going to be more complicated than I thought. Alex's voice drones on about his night with Amanda, but I can barely hear him. My attention is now locked on my phone screen and the anonymous message that I just received glaring back at me. "Miss me?" The words feel like a punch to the gut. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know who it is. I swallow hard, trying to maintain my composure. "Maya, are you even listening?" Alex's tone shifts from amused to concerned. I don't look up, hoping he'll drop it. But Alex is nothing if not persistent. He leans closer, squinting at my phone. Before I can react, he snatches it from my hand. "What the hell?" I try to grab it back, but he holds it out of reach. His eyes scan the message and his face darkens with anger. "Is this from him?" Alex's voice is low and dangerous. The room seems to shrink around us. I nod reluctantly. There's no point in lying. He knows the truth just by looking at me. Tyler, sensing the shift in mood, steps closer. "What's going on?" Neither of us responds. The tension in the room thickens as Alex pockets my phone, his jaw clenched tight. Tyler's eyes search mine for answers, but I can't give him any. Not now. Not when Alex is already fuming. "Guys, seriously, what is happening?" Tyler's frustration is palpable, but we remain silent. Alex glares at Tyler for a moment, before turning his attention back to me. "We need to talk about this," he says as he hands me back my phone. I nod again, feeling a lump form in my throat. Tyler's presence suddenly feels like an intrusion into a private battle between me and Alex. "I'm not leaving until someone tells me what is going on," Tyler declares, crossing his arms defiantly. But we stay quiet, caught in a silent storm of our own making. "I'm not feeling good," I blurt out, pushing back from the table. "I need to lie down." Alex and Tyler both look at me, concern etched into their features, but I can't stay here another second. I head for my room, my steps quick and unsteady. As soon as the door closes behind me, I let out a shaky breath. The room feels like a sanctuary compared to the tension-filled kitchen. I sit on the edge of my bed, running a hand through my curls, trying to gather my thoughts. The message replays in my mind, each word slicing through the fragile piece I've been trying to build. "Miss me?" It's so casual, so cruel in its simplicity. My phone buzzes in my pocket. Another message. I don't have the strength to look at it right now. Instead, I toss the phone onto the bed and stare at it like it's a ticking time bomb. There's a knock on the door, soft but insistent. "Maya, can I come in?" Tyler's voice is gentle but firm. I hesitate before answering. "Yeah." He enters slowly, as if approaching a wild animal. His blue eyes are filled with concern and something else. Determination. "Are you okay?" He closes the door behind him and takes a tentative step closer. I shake my head, unable to find the words. The room feels smaller with him in it, his presence both comforting and overwhelming. He sits down beside me, not too close, but not far enough either. "Look, you don't have to tell me what's going on," he says softly. "But you don't have to go through it alone. You can trust me." I glance at him, grateful for his understanding, but also wary of letting anyone else into this mess. "It's just my ex. It's complicated." Tyler nods, his expression thoughtful. Complicated doesn't scare me. A bitter laugh escapes me before I can stop it. Maybe it should. He reaches out, his hand hovering near mine but not quite touching. Whatever it is, you've got people in your corner, me included. The sincerity in his eyes makes my chest tighten. For a moment, I forget about the messages, about Alex's anger, about everything except the man sitting next to me. Thanks, I whisper, finally allowing myself a small smile. We sit there in silence for a while longer before he stands up. I'll be around if you need anything. He pauses at the door. Anything, Maya. As he leaves, I feel a strange sense of relief mixed with lingering dread. This isn't over, not by a long shot, but for now, just for now, I'm not alone, and maybe that's enough for today.
Chapter 10. Tyler. The car hums beneath me as I steer it toward Alex's house. The morning sun cuts through the windshield, warming my face, but my mind's tangled in thoughts of Maya. Her laugh echoes in my head, her touch still lingering on my skin despite the fact it's been days. I've tried to keep my distance, and I just can't anymore. I grip the wheel tighter, trying to focus on the road, but it's useless. Damn it, Tyler. You're falling for her. I glance at the empty passenger seat beside me, wishing she were there. Instead, it's just me and this gnawing feeling that Alex deserves to know what's going on between us. He's my best friend, practically a brother. But how do I tell him? How do I explain that his little sister is driving me crazy in ways I never saw coming? Memories of that night continue to flash through my mind. Her skin against mine, the way she looked at me like I was the only guy in the world. It was more than just physical. There was something deeper there, and that scares the hell out of me. As I pull up to Alex's house, my heart races. He needs to know. He deserves honesty from both of us. But how do you tell your best friend you're falling for his sister? Taking a deep breath, I get out of the car and head toward the front door. The air feels thick with tension. Or maybe that's just in my head. Either way, it's time to face this. I knock on the door and Maya answers, her face lighting up with a smile when she sees me. "Hey you, come on in," she says, her voice warm and inviting. I step inside, the familiar scent of coffee and vanilla filling the air. "Is Alex around?" She shakes her head. "Yeah, he's in the shower, I think. He should be finishing up soon." "I was thinking of asking him to go to the batting cages today," I say, trying to sound casual. Her eyes flicker with interest. "That sounds fun. You guys haven't done that in ages." "Yeah," I chuckle, scratching the back of my neck. "Thought it'd be a good way to hang out and catch up." Maya nods, her curls bouncing slightly with the movement. I'm sure he'll be down for it. For a moment, we just stand there, an unspoken tension crackling between us. It's electric and unnerving all at once. "Tyler, what's up, man?" Alex asks as he bounds down the stairs, rubbing a towel over his unruly hair and interrupting whatever was happening in that moment between Maya and me. I turn from her to look to Alex. "How would you feel about a trip to the batting cages?" "Hell yeah," Alex responds. "It's been way too long since we've done that." I take a quick glance over at Maya, and she's smiling. "Maya, are you going to be okay here while I'm gone?" Alex asks her. She rolls her eyes and huffs in disgust. "This is not Home Alone, and I am not Kevin. I'm 27 years old and capable of taking care of myself. You'll go. I'm going to focus on some more job applications. You'll need to stop watching so many damn Liam Neeson movies." "Sheesh, noted," Alex responds, waving a white paper towel that was left on the kitchen counter from breakfast, and I can't help but bust out laughing. She must be having a case of the rag rage. She's so... I spin him around and practically push him back up the stairs. "You should probably get dressed and let's get going," I finally say, after I catch my breath. "If we want to be there before the little 10-year-old wannabes." Maya leans against the door. Just admit it. You just don't want to have your asses kicked by a t-ball team. It would hurt your little ego. But have your fun today, she says as she laughs softly, her eyes locking onto mine. Thanks. My ego might be little, but you know something that isn't. I reply, my voice barely above a whisper. Her eyes widen and I audibly hear her gulp. I'm about to place a kiss on her neck when I hear footsteps running down the stairs. All right, ready and dressed to kick some little league ass, Alex says with a smile. That's my cue, I say mostly to Maya. Have a good day. A day without the two of you bugging me? It's going to miraculous, she says with a sly grin as she pushes us out the door. Alex and I step up to the batting cages, the smell of leather gloves and fresh-cut grass filling the air. I can see the excitement in his eyes as he picks up a bat, gives it a few test swings and grins at me. Feels like déjà vu, doesn't it? He says, stepping into the cage. Yeah, I nod, grabbing a bat for myself. We basically used to live out here. The crack of the bat hitting the ball echoes through the park. Alex's swing is still powerful, sending the ball flying. I watch him, my mind racing with thoughts of how to bring up what's weighing on me. He finishes his turn and steps out, handing me the bat. Your turn. Let's see if you've still got it. I laugh, stepping into the cage. The first pitch comes at me fast, but I connect solidly. The ball sails into the netting. Not bad, Alex comments, leaning against the fence. We take turns for a while, laughing and teasing each other about missed swings and wild hits. It feels good to be here with him, just like old times. But that makes what I need to say even harder. After a while, we take a break and grab some drinks from a nearby vending machine. We sit on a bench, watching other people in the cages. This was a great idea, Alex says, taking a sip of his soda. I so needed this. Yeah, I agree, staring at my drink. This is it. I need to find the right moment. We chat about random things for a bit. Work, mutual friends, old memories from college. Each topic drifts by without providing an opening for what I need to say. Finally, as we're watching one of the t-ball players take his swings in the cage, Alex turns to me. So what's really going on with you? You seemed off the last couple days. I take a deep breath. There's something I need to talk to you about. Alex raises an eyebrow but stays silent, waiting for me to continue. Just as I'm about to speak again, his phone buzzes loudly. He glances at it and sighs. Hold that thought, he says apologetically. It's Jenny. He steps away to take the call, leaving me alone with my thoughts once more. I sit on the bench, tapping my fingers against the cold metal. Alex is pacing a few feet away, phone pressed to his ear. I take a deep breath, trying to steady my nerves. Maybe there's a way to bring this up without dropping a bomb on him. Alex finishes his call and comes back, sliding his phone into his pocket. Sorry about that, he says, sitting down beside me. Now, what were you saying? I chuckle, trying to lighten the mood. I was just thinking, what would you do if someone close to you liked your sister? Alex laughs, shaking his head. You mean like one of my buddies? That'd be weird as hell. My heart sinks a bit, but I press on. Yeah, but, like, what if he really cared about her and treated her well? He narrows his eyes at me, giving me that look he always does when he's trying to figure out if I'm serious or not. Tyler, why are you asking me this? Is someone making moves on Maya? I shrug, forcing a smile. No, man, just a hypothetical. Alex leans back on the bench, looking up at the sky. Honestly, I don't know. Maya's been through a lot with her ex. The last thing she needs is more drama. He turns to face me again. If one of my friends was interested in her, I guess I'd need to know they were serious and not just messing around, but I wouldn't be happy about it. His words hit me like a ton of bricks. I nod slowly, absorbing what he said. Maybe this isn't the right time to bring it up after all. I get that, I say quietly. Alex studies my face for a moment before giving me a reassuring pat on the back. Look, man, whoever it is she ends up choosing, they better be ready for a world of hurt if they break her heart. And I don't plan on making it easy this time around. I should have spoke up when I had a bad feeling about James, but I didn't then, and I feel guilty for it now. I scratched the back of my head, trying to mask my disappointment. Yeah, I get that. But what did happen with her and James? Truthfully, I've been dying to know. It's damn near eating me alive. It's not my story to tell, but her ex James was abusive, mentally and physically. He didn't like that fact that Maya was more invested in her work and more successful than him. She came to my doorstep with bruises on her face and her hands full of suitcases. I feel the heat radiating through my bones. I instinctively crack my knuckles. I have to keep my fury under wraps so Alex doesn't suspect anything. This James asshole had the nerve to hit a woman, let alone a woman as special as Maya. He best be glad I don't know where he lives because I would be paying him a visit. Alex must notice the shift in my mood because he throws a hand on my shoulder. I acted the same way when I found out. I wanted to kill that bastard. You're just as much as a brother to Maya as I am. All we want is for her to be safe. That comment makes me nauseous. I don't want to be viewed as a brother any longer. I want to have the opportunity to be something else in Maya's eyes. He stands up and stretches, ready to get back into the batting cage. Come on, let's hit a few more before we call it a day. I follow him back to the cages, gripping the bat tightly as I try to shake off the conversation. Maybe someday I'll find the right moment to tell him how I feel about Maya. But today isn't that day. As we swing and joke around like we used to, I realize some things are better left unsaid for now, especially when it comes to matters of the heart and protecting our friendship.
Chapter 11. Maya. Tyler's been distant lately, and it's gnawing at me. He's hardly ever at the house anymore, and anytime he is, there's this invisible wall. I can't tell if he's feeling guilty about keeping our relationship from Alex, or if he's simply lost interest in me. I shake my head, trying to push the thoughts away. Whatever happens, happens. I can't keep stressing over it. My phone buzzes, breaking my train of thought. What do you know? Speak of the devil, it's Tyler. Hello, I answer, concern and confusion lacing my voice. Hey, I know this is kind of last minute, but can I pick you up around 5 tonight? His voice sounds a bit strained, and I can't read his tone. For what reason? I ask, concerned. I just want to take you somewhere, he responds. I can hear the vulnerability in his voice. I have a gut feeling this meeting isn't going to go in the direction I would like, but I won't know unless I go. Okay, sure, I reply, keeping it casual. I'll be ready by 5. See you then. The rest of the day drags on. I try to focus on my job search, but my mind keeps drifting back to Tyler. I hear Tyler's car horn from the driveway. My heart skips a beat, but I'm relieved when I remember Alex and Amanda are out on a date. No prying eyes, no awkward explanations. I step out onto the sidewalk, adjusting my wrap dress. The soft fabric clings to my curves, making me feel both exposed and powerful. Tyler steps out of the car, his eyes locking onto mine. For a moment, he just stands there, looking like he's forgotten how to breathe. Hey, he finally manages, his voice rougher than usual. You look, wow. A smile tugs at my lips. Thanks, I say, feeling a warmth spread through me. He smiles, walking around to open the passenger door for me. I slide into the seat, feeling his eyes on me the entire time. As he closes the door and walks around to his side, I can't help but steal another glance at him. He's dressed in dark jeans and a fitted shirt that shows off his athletic build. The way he carries himself, with that mix of confidence and something more tender, has always drawn me in. Tyler gets in and starts the engine. The silence between us isn't uncomfortable. It's charged with everything we're not saying. So, I begin as we pull out of the driveway. Where are you taking me? He grins, keeping his eyes on the road but glancing at me from time to time. You'll see. It's a surprise. You're not planning to murder me, are you? I ask playfully. No, I take those bodies down to the marsh. Less conspicuous. He replies with a sly smile. You're ridiculous, I yell at him while swatting his arm. He grabs my arm and brings my hand up to his mouth and plants a small kiss on it. I feel like I'm floating on cloud 9. We pull into the parking lot of the local park. Of all the places I thought he might take me, this wasn't one of them. Suddenly, he appears on my side of the car and opens my door. After you, madame, he says with a grin and a half-assed curtsy. He reaches for my hand, and I place mine in his, and something electric happens. We both felt it, 'cause we both looked up and stared. I entwine my fingers with his, and he guides me to wherever we are going. Ooh, I call first dibs on the monkey bars, I say while taking off in a sprint towards their direction. The park looks beautiful today, bathed in the golden glow of the late afternoon sun. I slow down in my pursuit of the playground equipment and allow Tyler to catch up. It's then I notice that, on down, closer to the water's edge, someone has set up a picnic blanket with candles, fairy lights hanging from nearby trees, and a basket that looks like it's straight out of a rom-com. I rub my eyes to make sure they aren't betraying me. Could this be what I think it is? I turn around to look at Tyler with bewilderment. Is that for us? It sure is, he replies with a smile that makes my knees weak. He guides me down the bank with skill, and we finally reach the picnic area. Wow, I say, my breath catching as I walk up to him. What's all this for? Tyler grins, looking proud of himself. This is my attempt at a date. A date, I say, trying to keep the excitement out of my voice. Yes, considering it could be our very first or our very last, depending on how your brother reacts to our spending time together, he says with a little bit of what seems like disappointment lacing his voice. My disappointment mirrors his as I sit down on the blanket, and he joins me, pulling out a bottle of wine and 2 glasses. We clink glasses and sip, the wine cool and crisp against my tongue. I refuse to let the thought of Alex ruin this. This is just perfect, I murmur, leaning back on my hands and gazing at the lights twinkling above us. I'm glad you like it, he says, his voice soft. Tyler's eyes roam over my sundress, lingering just a bit too long. I feel a warmth within. Have I told you that you're beautiful? He says, voice filled with genuine admiration. His blue eyes lock onto mine, and for a moment, the world shrinks to just the 2 of us. You have, I reply, feeling my heart race. But I'd never get tired of hearing it, so please continue. Tyler laughs softly, the sound sending shivers down my spine. He leans back on his hands, mimicking my posture. And we sit there in comfortable silence for a moment, just taking in the scene around us. He reaches into the picnic basket and pulls out some strawberries. Want one? He asks, holding one up to my lips. I take it with a grin, savoring the sweet taste. Delicious. He pops one into his own mouth, watching me with those intense blue eyes. You always did have good taste, he teases. Flattery will get you everywhere, I retort playfully. Good to know, he replies with a wink. The evening air cools slightly as the sun dips lower in the sky. There's an underlying current of something more between us, something electric and undeniable. Tyler leans closer, his shoulder brushing against mine. This is nice, he admits softly. I agree, I say quietly. Thank you for this small sense of normalcy. Our eyes meet again, and for a moment it feels like time stands still. We continue to talk about everything and nothing, It feels easy and natural, like slipping into an old, comfortable pair of shoes. But as the conversation flows, it inevitably drifts toward more serious topics. "So," Tyler says cautiously, swirling the wine in his glass, "how are you really doing? You know, after everything with your ex?" My heart tightens at the mention of him. I take a deep breath and look down at my hands. "It's hard," I admit. "Some days are better than others." Tyler reaches over and takes my hand in his. His touch is warm and reassuring. "I'm sorry, Mara," he says quietly. I look up at him, meeting his clear blue eyes. There's genuine concern there, but also something more. Something that makes me feel both comforted and exposed. "I know," I say softly. "It's just, sometimes it feels like he's still haunting me." Tyler squeezes my hand gently. "He doesn't get to have that power over you anymore," he says firmly. "You're stronger than that." I nod, trying to believe his words. But it's not that simple. The scars run deep, both physical and emotional. "You know I can help you, Maya. I'm a lawyer. We can get a protection order drawn up. You wouldn't have to fear running into him. You can move on with..." A sudden realization hits me like a punch to the gut. Alex. He told Tyler about everything. The abuse, the escape, all of it. Wait, I say, pulling my hand away. "Did Alex tell you about my ex?" Tyler looks taken aback, his eyes widening slightly. "Not everything," he admits slowly. "But he mentioned a few things." I feel a rush of anger and betrayal. "So that's why you haven't really been around. You felt, what, sorry for me?" "No, Maya, it's not like that." Tyler starts to explain, but I cut him off. "Don't lie to me," I snap, standing up abruptly. "You're just like everyone else, treating me like I'm some poor, fragile object who can't defend herself." Tyler stands up too, reaching for me. "That's not true and you know it." I step back, shaking my head. "If you really cared about me at all, you wouldn't have kept this from me." I didn't know how to bring it up. Tyler's voice rises in frustration. Alex always thinks he knows what's best for me," I shout back. "I'm tired of him meddling in my life." Tyler runs a hand through his hair, clearly frustrated. "He's your brother. He's just trying to protect you." "I don't need his protection." My voice breaks as tears sting my eyes. "I need people to trust that I can handle my own." Tyler takes a step closer, his eyes softening. "Maya, please." "No," I say firmly, holding up a hand to stop him. "This was a mistake." I turn and start walking towards the car, my heart pounding in my chest. "Maya!" Tyler calls after me, but I don't turn back. Reaching the car, I fumble with the keys, trying to unlock the door through my tears.
Chapter 12. Tyler. Move over, YouTube. Maya and Tyler's electrifying chemistry in Before My Brother Gets Back is too intense to miss. Don't let any details slip away by visiting tylawalker.com and grabbing the unabridged version at 40% off with the code SAVE40. This discount gives you access to all unabridged content on tylawalker.com, ensuring a smooth, uninterrupted experience that will leave you breathless. You won't know what hit you, baby. I'm going to take you, break you, and make you mine. And when I'm done, you're...
Now hold on just a minute.
What?
I got something to say.
What's the meaning of this?
Now you may be some fine-looking white boy,
Got that right, baby. It takes hard work.
and you might got the money,
Fat stacks, baby, to spoil you with.
but that doesn't mean I'm going to give it up to you without a fight.
A fight?
You want some limp wilting flowers? Go to historical romance, baby. But you want sassy and spicy strong black queens that tame their alpha male bad boys?
I think our listeners do.
Then you go on and look at Miss Tyla's Bougie Brides and Billionaires audio bundle.
50 hours of me whispering the most romantic things in your ears. Fake marriages, alpha male billionaires, strong black women, steamy scenes that will make your eyes roll back. And everything wrapped up in a happily ever after that will put you in an afterglow.
Use code SAVE40 to get 40% off this bundle and any other digital product in Miss Tyla's store.
Unabridged and uncut.
Just like you,
You're gonna have to find out.
Tyla Walker Romances. Escape your life with sassy romance. Chapter 13. Maya. Ever since the night of our date at the park, Tyler and I have been sneaking around and seeing each other. May it be when Alex goes to see Amanda briefly, or when I use the excuse of I need to run some errands. Or like right now, for instance, when I said I needed to make a coffee run that turned into a hot makeout session in Tyler's car. The guilt gnaws at me, relentless. I can't keep pretending everything is fine between me and Alex. He deserves the truth. I grab my phone and send him a quick text. Hey, got plans today? Let's do something fun together. His reply is almost instant. Sounds good. I'll get ready. A wave of relief washes over me. Maybe a day out will help clear my head and strengthen our bond. I find him lounging on the couch when I walk into the living room, his eyes glued to some sports channel. Ready for a brother-sister day? I ask, leaning against the doorway. He looks up, a grin spreading across his face. Hell yeah. What's the plan? How about we hit that new arcade downtown? You've been talking about it for weeks. Alex's eyes light up like a kid on Christmas morning. Arcade? You know me too well. Kind of comes with the territory of being siblings, don't you think? I accept his high five, and we gather our things and head to the door. We hop in his car, and soon we're cruising down the highway, windows down, music blasting. It feels like old times, better, less stressful times. The arcade is buzzing with energy when we arrive. Bright lights, loud noises, and the smell of popcorn fill the air. Alex's excitement is contagious as he pulls me toward a racing game. You ready to get your ass kicked, little sis? He challenges, already inserting tokens into the machine. I laugh. Bring it on. We spend hours playing everything from air hockey to skee ball. Both of us lost in the fun and nostalgia. For a while, my worries fade into the background. As we sit down for a break with ice-cold sodas in hand, Alex nudges me with his elbow. Thanks for this, Maya. I had a damn good time. I sip my drink and look at him, really look at him. My big brother who's always been there for me. Me too, I admit softly, as I fiddle with the bracelets on my wrist, one of which Tyler made me out of macaroni noodles on one of our late-night cooking marathons. You okay? He asks, trying to keep his tone light, but failing to mask the worry. I force a smile, gripping my soda tighter than necessary. Yeah, of course. Just tired, I guess. He tilts his head, not buying it. Maya, come on. You've been acting weird for a couple of days now. What's really going on? For a moment, I consider telling him everything about Tyler, about the constant knot in my stomach that turns to butterflies when he's around. But then I see the genuine concern in his eyes and realize I don't want to ruin this day for him. I shake my head, trying to snap myself out of it. Honestly, Alex, I'm fine. Just need to get out of my own head for a bit. He studies me for a long moment before nodding slowly. All right, but if you need to talk, you know I'm here. I give him a genuine smile this time. I know. Thanks. He grins back at me, and just like that, the tension eases a bit. We move on to another game, and I make an effort to fully engage in the moment. We laugh as we try to outscore each other, and slowly but surely, The weight on my shoulders lightens. Alex's enthusiasm is infectious. It's hard not to get caught up in his energy. We continue like this for hours, playing games, reminiscing about our childhood adventures. Each laugh and shared memory pulls me further from my worries. Eventually, we find ourselves back at one of those racing games that started our day off. "Ready for a final round?" he asks with a playful smirk. I slide into the seat beside him and pick up the steering wheel. Always. As I sit in the driver's seat of the arcade racing game, the sounds of revving engines and crashing cars surround me. Alex's laughter fills the air as he tries to outmaneuver me on the virtual track. My focus drifts from the game, though, as my mind keeps circling back to Tyler. I grip the steering wheel, trying to concentrate, but it's useless. My thoughts are filled with images of Tyler's smile, his teasing remarks, and that kiss that left me breathless. "Maya, you're losing!" Alex's voice snaps me back to reality. I glance at the screen and realize he's right. My car is spinning out of control while his speeds past the finish line. I force a laugh, trying to shake off my distraction. "Guess I'm off my game today." He chuckles and gives me a playful nudge. "Maybe next time." As we step away from the game, my phone buzzes in my pocket. I pull it out to see a text from Tyler. "How's your day with Alex going?" A smile tugs at my lips as I type back, "Great, we're having a blast." His reply is almost immediate. "Good to hear. Kick his ass in skee-ball for me. Miss you?" Those 2 words send a warmth through me that I can't ignore anymore. It hits me like a ton of bricks. I have real feelings for Tyler, deeper than just physical attraction or a passing crush. I slip my phone back into my pocket and look at Alex, who's busy examining a prize wall filled with stuffed animals and trinkets. "Hey, Alex," I start cautiously. "Yeah?" He turns to face me, holding up a ridiculous oversized teddy bear. I take a deep breath. "There's something I need to talk to you about soon." He raises an eyebrow but doesn't push for more information. "Sure thing. You know I'm always here." We head towards the exit, our bags filled with arcade tickets and our spirits high from a day well spent together. But underneath it all, there's an urgency building inside me, a need to be honest with Alex about Tyler and me. As we drive back home, the realization settles in more firmly. This isn't something I can keep under wraps for much longer. If my feelings for Tyler are this strong, and if he feels the same way, we owe it to Alex to come clean. For now, though, I savor this moment with my brother, knowing that soon enough, everything will change.
Chapter 14. Tyler. My phone buzzes on the kitchen counter, pulling me away from my morning coffee. It's a text from Maya. "Maya, we need to talk. Can you come over?" I hesitate for a second, my thumb hovering over the screen. I knew this conversation was coming, but now that it's here, it feels like a weight pressing down on my chest. I take a deep breath and type back. "Me. On my way." I grab my keys and head out the door. The drive to Alex's place feels longer than usual, every red light an opportunity for my mind to wander. How will Alex react? What if this blows up in our faces? I push those thoughts aside as I pull into the driveway. When I knock on the door, Maya opens it almost immediately, as if she's been standing there waiting. Her eyes meet mine, filled with a mix of determination and worry. "Hey," I say, stepping inside. "What's up?" She closes the door behind me and gestures toward the living room. "We need to figure out how to tell Alex about us." I nod, sinking into the couch while she takes the armchair opposite me. "Agreed." Maya leans forward, her hands clasped tightly together. I'm scared of how he's going to react. You know how protective he is." "Yeah, I know," I admit, running a hand through my hair. "But we can't lie to him anymore. He deserves to know the truth." She sighs and looks down at her hands. So how do we do this? Well, we need to be honest and straightforward, I say firmly. We sit him down together and explain everything. How we feel about each other. Why we didn't tell him sooner. Her eyes lift to meet mine again, softer this time. Do you think he'll understand? I sure as hell hope so, I reply, reaching out to take her hand in mine. He's your brother and my best friend. If anyone can get past this, it's him. Maya and I sit on the couch trying to figure out the best way to approach Alex. My mind races with possible scenarios. Okay, I start. What if we tell him during dinner? It could be more casual, less confrontational. Maya shakes her head. No, then he might feel ambushed. Maybe all three of us should just sit down in here, where it's more neutral. True, I concede. We need a way to keep him calm. I see her internally grimace. She is terrified of what Alex's response will be, and honestly, I am a little bit as well. We could start by reminding him how much we care about him, Maya suggests, her voice softening. Make it clear that there will still be the three of us, as a unit. I nod, considering her words. Good point. But what if he feels betrayed? He might, she admits, her eyes meeting mine. But it's better than him finding out on his own. That would hurt even more. I squeeze her hand reassuringly. You're right. It's just tricky. Maya leans back against the couch, a small, sad smile playing on her lips. You know, I never thought we'd be here in this position, plotting like this. I chuckle softly. Yeah, it feels like we're in one of those cheesy spy movies you like to watch. Her laughter is light and genuine, and for a moment, the tension lifts. But then her gaze locks onto mine, and the air between us thickens. Tyler, she whispers, leaning closer. Yeah? My voice comes out rougher than I intended. Her eyes flicker to my lips and back up. I know what she wants without her even saying it. The space between us disappears as I close the gap, my lips crashing into hers. Her hands tangle in my hair as mine find their way to her waist, pulling her closer. The kiss deepens quickly, all the pent-up tension from the past weeks releasing in a heated rush. She moans softly against my mouth, and it drives me wild. I slide my hands under her shirt, feeling the warmth of her skin against my palms. I want this, she breathes out when we break apart for air. Me too, I whisper back before capturing her lips again. The world outside disappears as we lose ourselves in each other, our worries momentarily forgotten in the heat of the moment. I'm still lost in the sensation of Maya's lips on mine when the front door slams open. Alex stands there, eyes wide and face contorted in rage. What the hell is going on here? He yells, his voice echoing through the room. Maya and I jump apart like we've been electrocuted. My heart pounds in my chest as I scramble to stand up. Alex, it's not what it looks like, I stammer, knowing full well it's exactly what it looks like. Why are you home from work so early? Maya asks, her voice rising 2 octaves when she's nervous. Not what it looks like. He scoffs, his voice rising. It looks to me like I walked in to find my best friend and my sister all over each other when I was just trying to come home and make a sandwich for lunch. Maya stands up too, her face pale but determined. Alex, please, let us explain. Explain? Explain what? He throws his hands up in frustration. That you've been sneaking around behind my back? That you've been lying to me? Alex, I start, trying to keep my voice calm. We didn't plan this. It just happened. We were going to tell you. Tell me, he interrupts, eyes blazing with anger. When? After you'd gotten tired of sneaking around? After I'd already figured it out on my own? Maya steps forward, reaching out to him. Alex, please! He pulls back, shaking his head vehemently. No, you don't get to please me right now. You both knew how I'd feel about this and did it anyway. The betrayal in his eyes cuts deeper than any words could. I take a step closer to him, desperate to make him understand. Alex, we care about you so much. This wasn't meant to hurt you. But it did, he shouts, his voice cracking with emotion. It hurts more than you can imagine. Who loses the most here if something bad were to happen between y'all? I shouldn't be made to choose between my family and my best friend. That's messed up. Silence falls over the room for a moment, heavy and suffocating. You have to end this, Alex finally says, his tone icy cold. If you don't break up right now, you'll both lose me. Maya gasps softly beside me, and my heart sinks further than I thought possible. Alex, she whispers, tears welling up in her eyes. But he's already turning away from us, heading toward the door. He stops for a brief moment and looks back over his shoulder. I mean it, he says quietly before storming out of the house. The door slams shut behind him with a finality that leaves an echoing silence in its wake.
Chapter 15. Maya. Tyler and I sit on opposite ends of the couch, the silence between us heavy and unbearable. I can't even bring myself to look at him. My mind replays Alex's words over and over like a broken record. Betrayed, hurt. I knew it was wrong to keep our relationship a secret from him, but I never expected this. It didn't have to go down like this. Tyler's voice breaks the silence, rough and strained. Damn, I never wanted to hurt him. I take a deep breath, feeling the weight of his words. Neither did I managed to say, my voice barely above a whisper. But it's a little late for that now. He moves closer, his hand reaching for mine. The warmth of his touch is both comforting and torturous. Maya, I want to see where this goes. I think we really have something here. My eyes well up with tears. I know, I whisper, gripping his hand tightly. But what choice do we have? You heard Alex. His jaw tightens, frustration evident in his eyes. There has to be another way. We can't just give up. The thought of losing Tyler makes my heart ache, but losing Alex feels equally unbearable. I don't know what to do, I admit, feeling utterly lost. I'll have to talk to him again, Tyler insists, his determination unwavering. Explain everything. Make him see that what we have is real. I nod slowly, wiping away the stray tear that escapes down my cheek. And if he doesn't care to hear from us, I question. Then we have to figure out a way to make him listen, Tyler says, trying to exude just a little bit of confidence. Confidence that I don't have right now. The silence stretches between us like a chasm, deep and unbridgeable. I feel the weight of our decisions pressing down on my chest, making it hard to breathe. We both make attempts to call Alex and beg him to hear us out, but we're both met with voicemail. I even tried Amanda's. I got the same outcome. Tyler, we can't lose Alex, I say, my voice trembling. He means too much to both of us. Tyler's eyes meet mine, pain etched in every line of his face. I know, he whispers, his voice raw. But it doesn't make this any easier. I take a deep breath, trying to steady myself. We have to do this, I say firmly, though my heart is breaking with every word. We have to let each other go. He nods slowly, the fight leaving his eyes. You're right, he agrees, though it seems like the words are tearing him apart as much as they are me. I don't want you to be, but you are. The room feels colder as the finality of our decision sinks in. I reach out and take his hand one last time, savoring the warmth and strength that has been my anchor. We have to stop talking. No contact whatsoever, I say, my voice cracking. And we have to leave each other alone. He grips my hand tightly, his eyes searching mine for a moment before he nods. Okay, Maya, he says, his voice barely more than a whisper. Tyler's grip on my hand tightens, and I see the struggle in his eyes. It takes a lot for someone to sacrifice their own happiness for someone else. He begins, his voice steady but filled with emotion. I respect that about you, Maya, because a part of me wants to be selfish. I want to tell Alex to go away and keep you to myself. His words make my heart race, and I feel a pang of longing mixed with sorrow. Tyler. But he cuts me off gently, his thumb brushing over my knuckles. I refuse to be the wedge between you and your brother. Tears well up in my eyes again, and I bite my lip to keep them from spilling over. You're a good man, Tyler Bennett, I whisper. He gives me a sad smile, his eyes softening. I just want you to know that if the circumstances and timing were different, I would fight like hell to keep you with me. I swallow hard, feeling the weight of his words settle in my chest. It's not fair, I manage to say, my voice cracking. No, baby, it's not, he agrees, his tone bitter but resigned. But sometimes life isn't fair, and sometimes we have to make choices that hurt like hell. We sit there in silence for a moment, the gravity of our situation pressing down on us. The warmth of his hand is a bittersweet comfort. So what now? I ask, my voice barely above a whisper. He takes a deep breath, letting it out slowly. Now, I stand and wait on the sidelines. He says softly, if things ever change, if there's ever a chance for us without hurting anyone, I'll be here. My heart aches at his words, but there's also a flicker of hope buried deep within the pain. Thank you, I whisper. Tyler, I say, my voice barely more than a whisper. Can I ask for one last thing? He looks at me, his eyes filled with a mixture of pain and longing. Anything, he says softly. One last kiss, I say, my heart pounding in my chest. Just one more before you go. His gaze softens, and he nods slowly. He moves closer, cupping my face in his hands. The warmth of his touch sends shivers down my spine. As his lips meet mine, the world fades away. The kiss is soft and passionate, filled with all the emotions we can't put into words. It's a bittersweet farewell, a promise of what could have been. His lips linger on mine for a moment longer before he pulls away, resting his forehead against mine. Damn, I'm gonna miss you, he whispers, his breath warm against my skin. Tears spill over and I close my eyes, Deontay savoring the closeness one last time. I'll miss you too, I whisper back. He steps back slowly, letting his hands fall from my face. The distance between us feels like an insurmountable chasm. He gives me one last lingering look before turning to leave. I watch him go, feeling a piece of my heart break with each step he takes away from me. As he walks out of the room, the emptiness left behind feels like a void swallowing me whole. But deep down, I know we made the right choice. For now. As I turn to go back to my room, sobs rack my body. The pain is overwhelming, but I know it's what had to be done. For Alex. For all of us. I can only hope that someday, somehow, this decision will make sense. But for now, all I can do is grieve what we've lost and try to find a way forward without him by my side.
Chapter 16. Tyler. I sit in my apartment, staring at my phone like it might explode. It's been days since Alex stormed out after he caught Maya and I together. Days of radio silence from my best friend. I've sent texts, left voicemails, but the screen stays stubbornly blank. Why did it have to come to this? If Maya was any other girl, I would be talking to Alex right now, seeking his seemingly expert advice, and putting my heart out on the line and figuring out a way to get her back. But no, Cupid, Lady Love, or whoever is in charge of all this is having a laugh at my expense right now. Maya's face swims into my mind, those eyes filled with tears, that last kiss. We tried to do the right thing, but it all feels wrong now. I dial Alex's number again, not expecting an answer. The call goes straight to voicemail. Alex, man, it's Tyler. Just hear me out. I need to talk to you. I hang up, feeling the weight of my words drop into a void. The walls of my apartment close in on me. Every corner holds memories of Alex and me, hitting the gym, playing video games, laughing until we couldn't breathe. Now, it's just empty space. I lean back on the couch, my eyes scanning the room without really seeing anything. It's all a blur. The echo of laughter, the phantom presence of friends. Everything seems hollow, especially without Maya. I grab my phone, my fingers hovering over her name in my contacts. I miss her so damn much. I miss her laugh, her wit, the way she looked at me like I was someone worth caring about. But I can't call her. We agreed to keep our distance for Alex's sake. Every time I think about her, it's like a punch to the gut. Is she hurting like I am? The thought gnaws at me, keeping me up at night. I wish I could be there for her, hold her, tell her everything's going to be okay. I walk to the window and look out at the city below. People moving on with their lives, oblivious to my turmoil. I wish things could be different, that we could be together without this cloud hanging over us. My mind drifts back to that night at Alex's house, the way she looked at me before Alex walked in, the way she felt in my arms. It felt so right, but now it's just a painful memory. I shake my head and head to the kitchen. Maybe some coffee will help clear my mind. As I wait for it to brew, my thoughts wander back to Maya. What is she doing right now? Is she okay? The coffee machine beeps, snapping me back to reality. I pour myself a cup and take a sip, but it does little to soothe the ache inside me. I sit back down on the couch and stare at my phone again. My fingers move almost of their own accord, typing out a message to Maya. I miss you. I hesitate before hitting send, knowing it's against our agreement. But damn it, I need her to know how much she means to me. Before I can overthink it, I press send and toss my phone aside. I lean back and close my eyes, imagining a world where we could be together without all this mess. A world where Alex could understand that what Maya and I have is real. A knock on the door startles me. My heart leaps, but it's just the delivery guy with food I don't remember ordering. I tip him and shut the door, sinking back into the void. The food sits untouched on the table as I try one last time to reach Alex. My mind drifts to Maya again, the way she laughed at my jokes, how she fit perfectly in my arms that night in the park. The thought brings a mix of warmth and pain. I have to find someone to vent to, so I grab my phone and scroll through the contacts until I find Ryan's name, my cousin. He met Maya at the family gathering and saw how things were between us. Maybe he can give me some perspective. The phone rings twice before he picks up. Tyler, what's up, man? Hey, Ryan, I need to talk. Got a minute? Yeah, sure. What's going on? It's about Maya, Alex's sister, I say, the weight of the words hanging in the air. Ryan pauses for a moment. All right, Spill. I take a deep breath. Maya and I have been seeing each other. But Alex caught us together and now he's furious. Gave us an ultimatum, break up or lose him. Damn, that's rough, Ryan says. But if what you have with Maya is real, shouldn't Alex want you both to be happy? Exactly, I reply, pacing my living room. But he feels betrayed. I don't know how to make him see that this isn't just some fling. Ryan is silent for a moment, then says, Look, man, Alex has been through a lot with you. If he really cares about either of you, he'll let you figure this out together. I nod, even though Ryan can't see me. Yeah, I hope you're right. I have one question, Ryan asks. Is she worth it? Potentially losing your friendship? The thought pains me at first, but then I'm met with some kind of weird peace or understanding or something. Yeah, man, she's worth it, I say with validity. Well, there's your answer, so what are you gonna do? He asks. I'm going to talk to him, I say with more determination than I feel. Face to face. Good luck, Tyler. Might want to bring an ice pack, Ryan says before we hang up. I grab my keys and head out the door, my mind racing. This needs to happen now before things get any worse. The drive to Alex's house feels like it takes forever, even though it's only across town. My hands grip the steering wheel tightly as I run through what I'm going to say. When I pull up outside his place, my stomach churns with nerves. But this has to be done.
Chapter 17. Maya. I stare at the blank wall of my room, feeling like it mirrors my insides, lifeless, empty. My breakup with Tyler gnaws at me, deeper and more vicious than anything I felt with my ex. Every moment without seeing or speaking to him feels like a stab wound that never quite heals. I can't help but replay our last kiss in my mind, the way his lips lingered on mine, as if neither of us wanted to let go. I replay all our memories because I'm terrified if I don't, then I may lose them. I know Alex sees it too. He sees the dark circles under my eyes, the way I move around the house like a ghost, but he offers no sympathy, no words of comfort. His anger and hurt over Tyler and me has erected an impenetrable wall between us. Hey, you want to watch something? Alex's voice breaks through my haze. He's standing at my bedroom door, holding up a stack of DVDs. Not really, I mumble, turning back to the window. The sight of people going about their lives outside feels like salt in an open wound. Alex lets out a frustrated sigh. Maya, you can't keep doing this to yourself. Doing what? I snap back, more harshly than I intended. Wallowing, he retorts. It's been months. And just who is to thank for that, my dear brother? He looks taken aback by my vile tone. I close my eyes, fighting back tears that threaten to spill over. He doesn't get it. How could he? What I felt for Tyler was real and raw, and all-consuming in a way that blindsided me. I just need time, I whisper, hoping he'll leave me alone. You've had plenty of time, Alex says, his voice hardening. You need to move on. I clench my fists, the anger bubbling up inside me like a volcano ready to erupt. You don't get it. You never once cared about how I felt. That's not true, he shoots back, stepping into the room now. I care about you more than anyone else in this world. Nonsense. You've got your head shoved so far up absolutely awesome Amanda's ass that you could care less about anyone else. Have you even called him Alex? Checked in on him? Maybe he's hurting just the same. But it all boils down to, if you cared so much about me, why not just let me? Because you lied to me. His voice echoes through the room, raw with emotion. The silence that follows is suffocating. I know he's right. We did lie to him. But it doesn't make this hurt any less. I'm sorry. We never meant to. We were going to tell you, I finally say, my voice barely above a whisper. Sorry doesn't fix things, he mutters before walking out of the room. And just like that, I'm alone again with nothing but memories of Tyler and a pain that refuses to fade away. The kitchen is a mess, and so am I. I'm chopping vegetables for a stir-fry, trying to keep my mind occupied. The rhythmic sound of the knife against the cutting board provides some semblance of peace. Alex will be home soon, and the least I can do is have dinner ready. It's no secret that the way to the man's heart is through his stomach, so I'm hoping this serves as a peace offering. If I can't have Tyler, I would at least like to remain in good standing with my brother. I reach for the soy sauce, my thoughts drifting back to the last time Tyler was here. His laughter, his smile, it all seems like a distant dream now. Lost in my thoughts, I don't notice how close I am to the edge of the counter until it's too late. The bottle slips from my grasp and crashes to the floor, splattering dark liquid everywhere. Great, I mutter under my breath, staring at the mess spreading across the tiles. My clothes are soaked, and I smell like a takeout order gone wrong. I grab a rag and start wiping up the mess, but it's no use. My shirt is ruined. Resigned, I toss it into the laundry basket and head to the bathroom. The hot water feels like a balm on my tense muscles as I step into the shower. For a moment, I let myself relax under the stream, letting it wash away not just the soy sauce, but also some of the weight that's been pressing down on me. The steam envelops me, creating a small haven where nothing else matters. As I lather shampoo into my hair, my thoughts wander back to Tyler. It's like he's everywhere and nowhere, all at once, an invisible presence that lingers in every corner of my mind. Even now, with hot water streaming down my face, I can almost feel his touch. I hear the front door creak open, followed by the familiar sound of footsteps. Alex must be home early. Alex, I call out through the bathroom door, my voice muffled by the water. I started making stir-fry for dinner. Don't order takeout. No response. Okay, so Operation Fix This is going to take a little more work than I thought. I spilled soy sauce everywhere, I continue, chuckling to myself. The kitchen's a mess, but I'll clean it up after I'm done here. Still no answer. That's odd. Alex, I try again, louder this time. Silence hangs heavy in the air, broken only by the sound of my own breathing and the water splashing against the tiles. A chill runs down my spine, and it's not from the cooling water. I turn off the shower and grab my towel, wrapping it tightly around myself. Something feels off. Hello? My voice wavers as I step out of the bathroom, water dripping onto the floor. I barely have time to process what's happening as my ex, James, bursts inside, his presence overwhelming the small space of the hallway. My heart races, my instincts screaming at me to run. Clutching the towel around me, I take a step back. James, what are you doing here? Get out! My voice trembles, but I force myself to stand tall. His smirk is cruel, eyes dark and menacing. You never let me know if you missed me or not. I decided just to follow up for myself. Before I can react, he lunges. Pure terror propels me forward. I dart past him, feeling his fingers graze my arm. Adrenaline pumps through my veins as I sprint down the hallway, the sound of his heavy footsteps thundering behind me. I reach my room and slam the door shut just in time. My hands fumble with the lock, heart pounding so loud it drowns out everything else. The lock clicks into place and I sag against the door, gasping for breath. Open up, Maya! James pounds on the door, each thud sending vibrations through my body. My eyes scan the room wildly. My phone. It's in the kitchen. Panic surges again. There's no way to call for help. My only option is to keep him out. Leave me alone, I shout back, trying to mask the fear in my voice. Silence follows. Then a low chuckle that sends chills down my spine. You think a locked door can keep me out? I press my back harder against the door, as if sheer willpower can fortify it. Thoughts race through my mind. What if he breaks it down? What if... No. Focus. Stay calm. I glance around for anything that could be used as a weapon or barricade, but come up empty-handed. The pounding on the door starts again, more aggressive this time. Desperation claws at me. There has to be another way out, a window or something, but from here there's nowhere to go but down 2 stories onto concrete. Please, James, I plead, hoping for some trace of humanity left in him. The banging stops suddenly. For a moment, all is silent except for my ragged breaths and the blood rushing in my ears. Where's your brother to save you? Or your pretty boy little side piece you've been having sex with? His tone morphs into something much darker. Don't think I don't know about these things, Maya. I have eyes everywhere, and I always get what is mine returned to me. You will never be free of me." He laughs some sinister laugh that makes me want to vomit. "Just go, please. We can talk about this later," I beg. I think I'll wait around and pay a visit to Alex and meet your new boy toy." I don't dare move or make a sound until I hear his footsteps retreating down the hallway and out of earshot. Only then do I allow myself to sink to the floor, tears streaming down my face as I struggle to regain control over my shattered nerves. For now, I'm safe. But for how long?
Chapter 18. Tyler. I pull into Alex's driveway, my car crunching over the gravel just as he does. How convenient. We lock eyes for a moment and the tension is palpable. I step out of my car, trying to keep things civil. "Hey, bro." He slams his car door harder than necessary. "What do you want, Tyler?" "Can we talk? Just for a minute?" I shove my hands in my pockets, keeping my tone as neutral as possible. Alex's eyes narrow. "Talk about what? How you betrayed me." "Come on, man, it's not like that." I step closer, hoping to bridge the gap. "Maya and I... it just happened." He snorts, crossing his arms over his chest. "Yeah. Well, it shouldn't have. You knew how I'd feel about it. Look, we didn't plan this." My voice tightens with frustration. "We tried to keep it from you until we knew for sure, because we didn't want to hurt you." "Well, great job there." His sarcasm drips like venom. I take a deep breath, trying to stay calm. "I love her, Alex. This isn't some fling. It's about time to get the hell over it." Alex's face hardens. "You think that makes it okay? You think saying I love her fixes everything?" "No," I admit, "but I think we can figure this out if you just..." He cuts me off, stepping closer until we're almost nose to nose. "There's nothing to figure out. You chose her over our friendship." I feel my patience snapping. "That's not fair. That's your sister, man." Alex shoves me in the chest. "You don't get to tell me what's fair." I stumble back, but quickly regain my footing. My fists clench at my sides as I struggle to keep from escalating things further. "I'm trying to be reasonable here." "Reasonable?" He laughs bitterly. "Reasonable would have been staying away from her." Anger flares hot inside me. "I can't help who I fall for, and you don't own her." Alex's face contorts with rage. "You know what? Screw you." He shoves me again. This time, I don't back down. My own temper flares as I push him back hard enough that he stumbles. "What the hell is your problem?" I shout. His eyes are wild with fury as he lunges at me, and we grapple in the driveway, fists flying and bodies colliding with raw emotion. We end up rolling on the ground, dirt and gravel scraping our skin until we're both panting heavily, locked in a stalemate. "Enough!" I yell breathlessly. He looks at me with fire still burning in his eyes but doesn't move to hit me again. We lay there for a moment longer before finally untangling ourselves and getting to our feet. "We need to figure this out," I say through gritted teeth. "Yeah," he mutters darkly, wiping blood from his lip. "We do." I roll my eyes and tune Alex out because he refuses to listen. It's always the same argument with him, and frankly, I'm tired of it. My gaze drifts past him to the front door. It's wide open. My gut twists. "Alex!" I interrupt his ranting, my voice tight with concern. He doesn't stop. "No, Tyler, you need to understand." "Alex!" I grab his arm, forcing him to look at me. "The front door." He frowns, turning to follow my gaze. His eyes widen as he sees what I see. "Did you leave it open?" he asks, already moving toward the house. "No," I mutter, a sense of dread settling in my stomach. I take a deep breath. "Where is Maya?" I ask, trying to keep the worry out of my voice. "She stayed home today," he responds, already heading towards the door. Just as we step inside, a piercing scream echoes through the house. My heart skips a beat, and we both sprint toward the sound, our footsteps pounding against the floorboards. We burst into the kitchen to find Maya on the floor, struggling against a strange man. He's got her pinned down, but she's fighting with everything she's got, trying to reach her phone that's just out of reach. "Get off her!" I roar, charging forward without hesitation. Alex is right beside me, his face twisted with rage. The man looks up just in time to see us coming. "James, you idiot!" Alex yells as he swings at the man. His name, James, the recollection hits me like a ton of bricks. Maya's ex-boyfriend, the one who laid his hands on her, and the one who is currently in Alex's house doing it again. "Nah, screw that," I say, pulling him to his feet. "Let me at him." He tries to scramble away, but I'm on him in seconds. I grab him by the collar and yank him off Maya, throwing him hard against the kitchen counter. He hits it with a sickening thud and crumples to the ground. "Maya, go upstairs!" Alex yells to her, and she nods, tears streaming down her face but defiance still burning in her eyes. I don't need any more encouragement. I haul the asshole to his feet and drag him toward the door. Once outside, I grab James by the collar and slam him against the brick of the apartment. He gasps, eyes wide with fear. I don't hesitate. My fist connects with his jaw, sending a shockwave up my arm. "You ever touch her again," I growl, punctuating each word with a punch to his face, "and you're a dead man." Alex pulls out his phone, dialing 911 with shaking hands. "We need the police here now," he says into the phone, voice tight with anger and urgency. The guy tries to struggle free, but I pin him down harder, my knee pressing into his chest. Blood trickles from his nose and mouth, but I don't let up. Not until I'm sure he's too dazed to fight back. "I'm here to protect her now, and the best thing for you to do is stay away from her." I pant, still delivering blow after blow. Alex hangs up and joins me, eyes dark with fury. "Tyler, stop! You're gonna kill him! They're on their way!" I give the guy one last swift punch before climbing off of him. He rolls around on the grass, groaning in pain. Turning away from him, I look frantically for Maya. Alex must notice my despair because he urges me to go upstairs and check on her, that he has this under control. I need no further permission. I rush upstairs to Maya's room. She's still wrapped in that towel, her eyes wide and tear-filled but determined. My heart aches seeing her like this. "Maya," I say softly, kneeling beside her. "Are you hurt?" She shakes her head, her voice trembling but strong. "No, I'm okay. Just shaken up a bit." I reach out and gently touch her arm, needing to feel that she's real and safe. "I won't let him hurt you again." Alex appears, fists clenched at his sides. He looks at us with a mix of anger and something else, something darker. "Where's James?" Maya asked, skittishly looking around the room. "Outside, knocked out cold thanks to Lou Ferrigno over here." Alex shoots his fiery eyes in my direction. "He deserved it," I say with spite. "This is why I didn't want you involved," he snaps at me. "Alex." I start, but he cuts me off. "No," he says sharply. "This is exactly what I was afraid of." Maya steps forward, her voice firm despite everything. "This isn't Tyler's fault." He glares at us both. It doesn't matter whose fault it is. This never should have happened. The tension in the room is suffocating as we wait for the police to arrive. I keep close to Maya, my protective instincts on high alert, while Alex paces back and forth like a caged animal.
Chapter 19. Maya. I managed to change out of the towel into something more appropriate and have meandered downstairs. I hear Alex chewing Tyler a new one in the kitchen from where I'm standing on the bottom step. After a good solid minute of his straight ranting and talking nonsense, I can't take it anymore. I breach the entrance of the kitchen. "Alex, will you just shut up?" I snap, my voice echoing off the kitchen walls. My heart's pounding from the encounter with my ex, but right now, Alex's relentless anger is pushing me over the edge. "Oh, I'm sorry. Did I upset you?" He crosses his arms, his eyes blazing. Do you have any idea what I've done for you? How much I've sacrificed? And you repay me by having sex with my best friend? You don't understand, I begin, but he cuts me off. Don't understand? Don't understand? He laughs bitterly. I let you stay here when you had nowhere else to go. I made various efforts to cheer you up. And this is how you repay me? By sneaking around behind my back? Alex. No, you don't get to Alex me, he says, jabbing a finger in my direction. I've done everything to keep you safe, and you go and do this? I clench my fists, trying to keep my cool. I didn't plan this. It just happened. It just happened. His voice rises another octave. Things don't just happen, Maya. You made a choice to betray me. Betray? The word stings more than it should. You act like I'm some child who needs your permission to live her life. I acted like a brother who loves his sister and wants to protect her, he says through gritted teeth. And what about what I want? I challenge, stepping closer. Do my feelings even matter to you? His eyes narrow, and for a moment, he looks like he's going to explode again. Instead, he shakes his head slowly. I thought you'd have more respect for yourself and for me. The accusation cuts deep, but I stand my ground. Respect? Respect is a two-way street, Alex. You can't control everything in my life just because you're scared of losing me. I'm not scared of losing you, he retorts. I'm scared of watching you get hurt again. I'm not making a mistake. You know Tyler is not like that. He's your best friend, I say softly but firmly. You're acting childish, Maya. You're being selfish and ungrateful. Alex's words cut through the air like a knife, but before he can finish, Tyler's fist connects with his jaw. The sound of the impact is sickening, and Alex stumbles back, shock written across his face. Tyler! I scream, but it's too late. They're already grappling, fists flying, knocking over chairs and smashing into the kitchen counter. Don't you ever talk to her like that again, Tyler yells, pinning Alex against the wall. Get off me, you idiot, Alex shouts, shoving Tyler back with all his strength. They tumble to the floor, rolling and throwing punches. Each hit makes my heart lurch. Stop it. Both of you, stop. My voice cracks, but they're too consumed by their anger to hear me. Just then, red and blue lights flash outside the window. The sound of sirens wails through the house. Seconds later, police officers burst through the front door. Break it up, now, one officer commands as they pull Tyler and Alex apart. Tyler's lip is bleeding. Alex has a nasty bruise forming on his cheek. They're both breathing hard, glaring at each other with a mix of fury and regret. Ma'am, an officer turns to me. Are you okay? I nod numbly. My entire body feels like it's been put through a wringer. Yes, I manage to whisper. What's going on here? Another officer asks. Those two just had a misunderstanding. They're best friends, I say quickly, but they're already escorting Tyler and Alex outside. The intruder is the one lying in the grass, whose face looks like hamburger meat. His name is James Monroe, and he is my ex-boyfriend. So, Mr. Monroe did not have permission to come inside the apartment? The officer asks while getting out his pen and paper. As raw as this story feels, now may be the most important time to share it. So James can be put behind bars, and another woman won't end up blindsided like me. No, he did not, I begin. I actually left from his apartment and came to live with my brother after his emotional abuse transformed into physical abuse. He hurt you, ma'am? The young officer asks. I can see the concern in his eyes. Yes, but I chose to leave the first time it got physical. But he sent me a text message last week from a restricted number, asking if I missed him, and I never responded. I'd like to do anything I can to ensure I never have to encounter him ever again. A restraining order, testimony, anything you need? Absolutely. We will be in touch, Miss Johnson. As for now, we're taking these two in for questioning, one of the officers informs me. You can come down to the station later to give your statement. I watch helplessly as they lead both men out in handcuffs. Tyler glances back at me with an apologetic look that breaks my heart all over again. Alex doesn't look back at all. The door closes behind them, and suddenly the house is eerily quiet. The silence presses down on me like a weight I can't lift. I sink onto the nearest chair, my hands trembling uncontrollably. I feel like I'm going to be sick. My mind races with everything that's happened. My ex breaking in, the fight between Tyler and Alex, the police showing up. It's too much. It's all too much. But instead of feeling sad, I'm rather surprised to feel angry. My blood boils as I march up to my room to grab some sneakers. I grab my keys off the dresser with more force than necessary. As I stomp down the stairs, I glance around at the mess they made. Broken chairs, a smashed lamp. It's like a tornado hit. All because they couldn't control their tempers for 5 damn minutes. And Alex had the nerve to try and call me childish. I slam the front door behind me, the sound echoing through the quiet neighborhood. The cool night air hits me, but it does nothing to cool my anger. My car waits in the driveway, an oasis of calm in this storm of stupidity. I slide into the driver's seat, shoving the key into the ignition and turning it with a twist that mirrors my frustration. The engine roars to life, and I peel out of the driveway, not caring if anyone hears. The streets are mostly empty as I drive toward the police station, each mile giving me time to seethe over what just happened. Tyler and Alex, 2 grown men acting like they're still in high school. I grip the steering wheel tighter, knuckles turning white. How did everything go so wrong? It's like they've forgotten how to be civilized humans. And now they're both in jail because they couldn't man up and handle their business. The neon sign of the police station comes into view, casting a harsh glow on the asphalt. I pull into a parking spot and cut the engine, taking a deep breath before stepping out of the car. The cold reality of where I am hits me as I walk toward the entrance. Inside, the fluorescent lights buzz overhead as I approach the front desk. A tired-looking officer glances up from his paperwork. I'm here about Alex Johnson and Tyler Bennett, I say, my voice steady despite the chaos swirling inside me. He nods and gestures for me to wait as he picks up a phone. Minutes later, though it feels like hours, another officer comes to escort me back. As we walk through the station's corridors, I prepare myself for whatever comes next. Right now, all I want is for this nightmare to end so we can start picking up the pieces, or at least figure out where to begin.
Chapter 20. Tyler. I sit on this hard, cold bench in the police station, feeling like a caged animal. My fists still ache from the punches I threw at James, hell, even Alex. The fluorescent lights buzz overhead, adding to the pounding in my head. Alex is beside me, staring at the wall, arms crossed. He hasn't said a word since we got here. Alex, I start, trying to keep my voice steady despite the storm inside me. Nothing. He doesn't even glance my way. Come on, man. We can't keep doing this. I lean forward, elbows on my knees. Grow up. This isn't helping anyone. Still nothing. His jaw is clenched so tight I swear I can hear his teeth grinding. Do you even realize what just happened? I snap, my patience fraying. Maya was almost... The words catch in my throat. I can't finish that sentence without losing it completely. Alex's eyes finally flicker toward me, filled with a mix of anger and betrayal. You think I don't know? You think I don't care? His voice is low but lethal. If you care so much, why are you treating her like this? My voice rises despite myself. Why are you treating us like this? He looks away again, his face a mask of stubbornness. You went behind my back, he mutters. Jesus, Alex, this isn't about us anymore. Maya could have been hurt, or worse, while we're out here acting like idiots. The memory of her terrified scream sends another jolt of rage through me. His silence speaks volumes, and it pisses me off even more. Look, I continue, trying to rein myself in. I get it. You're protective of her. But this isn't protection. This is just driving a wedge between all of us. His eyes narrow, but he doesn't respond. It's like talking to a brick wall. You know what? I say, standing up abruptly. Fine. Ignore me all you want. But you need to think about what's really important here. As I start pacing the small holding area, all I can think about is Maya's face. How scared she looked when we found her on the kitchen floor with that bastard on top of her. And now she's alone again because we couldn't get organized. I stop and face Alex again. If anything happens to her because we're too busy fighting each other instead of looking out for her, I'll never forgive myself, or you for that matter. Alex's eyes meet mine for a fleeting moment before he looks away again, and it's enough to see that he's struggling with the same fears and guilt that are eating me alive. I stop pacing and face Alex again, feeling the weight of what I need to say pressing down on me. Alex, I begin, my voice firmer than before. I've fallen in love with Maya, and I refuse to stay away from her any longer. So either get with the program, or don't. His eyes widen, a flash of shock breaking through his stubborn facade. He opens his mouth to speak, but I cut him off. I'm serious. I love her, and I will protect her from anyone and anything, including you if you're going to continue to hurt her. Alex stands up, fists clenching at his sides. I'd never hurt her, he snaps. You're doing it right now. My voice echoes off the sterile walls of the station. By trying to force us apart, you're hurting her. You don't see how miserable she is because of this. Because of us. He takes a step closer, eyes blazing with anger and something else, something like regret. I'm just trying to look out for her. And I respect that, I say, softening my tone just a fraction. But she's not a kid anymore. She deserves to be happy, and so do you. Alex's shoulders sag slightly, the fire in his eyes dimming as my words sink in. So what? You think you can just waltz into her life and make everything better? I don't know if I can, I admit, but I want to try. For her sake, for mine, even for yours. He looks at me for a long moment, his expression unreadable. The tension between us is thick enough to cut with a knife. Finally, he sighs and runs a hand through his hair, breaking eye contact. This isn't how I wanted things to go, he mutters. I know, I reply quietly, but we have to figure this out together, for Maya's sake. Alex nods slowly, still not looking at me, but clearly deep in thought. The silence stretches between us, heavy with unspoken words and unresolved emotions. I hear the door to the station open and my heart skips a beat. Maya stands there, tears streaming down her face. Her eyes are red and puffy, and she looks like she's been through hell. I can't get to her fast enough. Maya, I say, pulling her into my arms. She melts into me, her body shaking with sobs. I hold her tight, stroking her hair, trying to soothe her. Tyler, she whispers between sobs, clutching my shirt like it's the only thing keeping her grounded. I'm here, I murmur, kissing the top of her head. I'm right here. Behind me, I hear Alex shuffle awkwardly. He takes a deep breath and steps forward, his face a mixture of guilt and determination. Maya, he starts, his voice cracking slightly. I'm so sorry for everything. She pulls away from me just enough to look at him, her eyes searching his face for sincerity. I was wrong, Alex continues, swallowing hard. About everything. About you and Tyler. Maya blinks at him, her tears slowing as she listens. I see now that trying to keep you apart was hurting you more than anything else, he says, running a hand through his hair in frustration. I was being selfish. Alex takes another step closer, his eyes locking onto mine. Tyler, he says quietly but firmly. If you love my sister, and she loves you, then you have my blessing. I feel a weight lift off my shoulders at his words. Maya looks up at me with a mix of relief and hope in her eyes. Thank you, I say to Alex, my voice filled with gratitude. He nods slowly, still looking conflicted but resolute. Just take care of her, he says softly. I plan to, I promise. Maya turns back to Alex and gives him a small smile through her tears. Thank you, Alex, she whispers. He reaches out and pulls both of us into an awkward but heartfelt hug. The tension that's been tearing us apart seems to melt away in that moment. We stand there in the police station, holding each other close, finally feeling like we can start to heal from all the pain and misunderstandings that have plagued us for so long. We exit the police station, and Maya clings to me, her body trembling as she lets out a shaky breath. I can feel the rapid beat of her heart against my chest, a rhythm that matches my own. Alex phoned Amanda to come and pick him up, so it's just Maya and I right now. Thank you, she whispers, her voice barely audible but filled with raw emotion. Thank you for coming to save me. I cup her face gently, my thumb brushing away the remnants of her tears. I'll always come for you, Maya. Always. Her eyes search mine, and I can see the depth of everything she's been holding back. The fear, the relief, the gratitude. It's all there, laid bare between us. I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't shown up, she admits, her voice breaking slightly. She takes a deep breath, trying to steady herself. I pull her closer, our foreheads touching. You're safe now, I murmur. I won't let anyone hurt you ever again. She closes her eyes and leans into me, her hands gripping my shirt as if she's afraid to let go. For a moment we just stand there, wrapped in each other's presence, finding solace in our closeness. Maya, I say softly, tilting her chin up so she looks at me. You mean the world to me. Her lips part slightly and I can see the flicker of hope in her eyes. Tyler. I can't hold back any longer. I lean in and press my lips to hers in a tender kiss. It's slow and gentle, a promise that I'm here for her now, and always. She responds with equal fervor, her hands sliding up to rest on my shoulders as she deepens the kiss. When we finally pull back, we're both breathless. She rests her head against my chest again, and I wrap my arms around her tightly. I love you, she whispers against my skin. I love you too, I reply without hesitation. It feels like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders just saying those words out loud. She looks up at me with a small smile. We'll get through this together, she says with more confidence than before. Together, I agree, pressing another soft kiss to her forehead. In that moment, standing in the aftermath of chaos but finding peace in each other's arms, I know that no matter what comes next, we'll face it side by side.
Chapter 21. Maya. I smooth down the tape on the last box and glance up at Tyler, who leans against the doorframe with that cocky grin I've come to love. Is that about it? He asks, his blue eyes sparkling with mischief. Should be the last of it, I reply, feeling a sense of accomplishment. Alex stands by the door, one hand on a small hand truck. Load her up, sis. We ain't got all day, he says, nodding toward the boxes. Tyler and I stack them onto the hand truck carefully. I can't help but feel a pang of nostalgia as we maneuver through Alex's apartment. This place has been my safe haven, and now it's time to move on. Careful with that one, I warn Tyler as he balances a particularly heavy box on top. It's got all my books in it. Tyler laughs. So basically, your written literary porn collection? Pretty much, I say with a wink. I don't hear you complaining. Enough or I'm going to vomit on your newly cleaned carpets. Alex rolls his eyes playfully, pushing the loaded hand truck down the hall. It's a short trip, only 3 doors down, but it feels like a new chapter opening. We arrive at our apartment, and Tyler holds the door open for us. "You sure you don't need me to carry anything?" Alex asks, feigning offense at being relegated to hand truck duty. "We've got it from here," Tyler reassures him. "You've done enough." As we unload the boxes in our new living room, I can't help but notice how much lighter the air feels. The tension between us has dissolved into something warmer, more hopeful. Alex has Jenny now, who moved in just last week. She's been great for him. They balance each other out in ways I never imagined. Tyler catches my eye and winks as we set down the last box. "Welcome home, my love," he whispers, pulling me into a quick hug before Alex can make a sarcastic comment. Alex looks around and then back at me. "Well, on that note, if you need anything, and I mean anything, just holler. Like, literally holler, I'm only 3 doors down, you know." "I know," I say, giving him a soft smile. "Thanks for everything, Alex." He shrugs like it's no big deal, but I see the emotion flicker across his face. This moment is big for all of us. Jenny pokes her head in from the hall. "You guys need any help?" "Nope, we're good," Alex calls back to her before turning to us with a grin. "I guess this is it then?" "Yeah," I say, glancing around our new place with excitement bubbling inside me. "This is it." Tyler's arms wrap around me, and before I know it, he's picking me up and spinning me around. Laughter bubbles out of me as the room blurs past in a whirl of colors. "Put me down, you brute," I giggle, swatting at his shoulder. He sets me down gently, a broad grin on his face. "So what color are we painting the walls? And what about the couch? Are we going for something bold or something neutral?" I laugh, shaking my head. "You really don't care, do you?" He pulls me closer, looking into my eyes with that intensity that always makes my heart race. "Honestly, I could care less what it looks like. As long as you're here with me, that's all that matters." My heart melts at his words. "I love you," I whisper. "I love you too," he replies softly. I kiss him sweetly, savoring the warmth of his lips against mine. "Let's get to unpacking," I sigh when we pull apart. "We've got to locate the box with all the pots and pans so I can make you pancakes in the morning after you ravish me on every surface of this apartment this evening." Tyler's eyes gleam with the mischief as he scoops me up again, making me squeal in delight. He carries me toward the bedroom with determined strides. Perhaps if we go ahead and start this challenge, I will be more apt to find the box of cookware in question. I laugh, wrapping my arms around his neck. "God, I love you so much." He kicks open the bedroom door and sets me down gently on the bed. The world outside fades away as we focus on each other. This is our new beginning, and it's perfect.
You think you can catch me? You think you can tame me?
Oh, I know I can. And you know it too, baby.
I gotta tell you, you're not the first to try.
But don't worry, baby. I'll be the last.
With sass like that, maybe I'll be the one that needs to tame you.
Let's cut to the chase, big boy. What you selling me?
Your appetite is big AF. I have just the thing that'll satisfy you.
Oh, really? And what's that?
Over 120 hours of romance audiobooks. Brought to you by Tyla Walker Romances in the Big AF Audio Bundle.
120 hours? That sounds amazing.
Your knees won't work afterwards if I do my job right.
Don't make promises you can't keep.
Well, I can keep this promise. Because these audiobooks are unabridged with all the spicy scenes that will make you put your earbuds on. You know, Tyla can get freaky because she marked the bundle down by 69% for a limited time.
I can't wait to take this bundle for a ride.
Visit TylaWalker.com and get this audio bundle. Just don't start listening if you're going to be cooking dinner. Because you might just forget to feed your family.
TylaWalker.com. Escape your life with Tyla.